3, 2,
I gotta get a picture of that.
Matt Farah, ladies and gentlemen.
Joe Rogan.
We're going live.
Are we?
Dude, the interior of your car is fucking disgusting, and I can't believe you like it. Why would you do that when you can get any interior? You could make it any color. You decided to do, what is it? Bus?
It's city bus fabric.
City, legitimately?
It's actual city bus fabric. Yeah. We got it from the city bus supplier.
Is it just like puke resistant or something?
It's everything resistant. UV,
Really?
dirt, stain.
Really?
Yeah.
But does it feel good?
All right. Hi, everybody.
Hi, it's Matt Farah.
I have an old 911. It's called a Safari build. This guy named Lee Keen built it, and I showed it to Joe. I brought it here. There it is.
And see people on the video, we're looking at the smoking tire on Instagram.
Thank you. And that's my everyday car in LA.
You drive that everywhere?
Yeah. It's got big fog lights and bash bars, and it's got a lift on it.
Too, right?
Oh, yeah.
In traffic.
Yeah, but I also have a little scooter, so it's when I need to go fight traffic, I leave it. Yeah.
You drive a scooter?
Yeah, a little Yamaha 125.
Oh, Jesus.
Bro, you wear a fanny pack. I can ride a scooter.
I mean, for your own health and safety.
No, it's the best.
Really?
It's the best. I mean, look, riding motorcycles is dangerous. We all know that. But I think it's a calculated risk.
Yeah.
You know, and like the other day, my wife and I left the house at the same time. We live in Venice, and she left in a car, and I left on the scooter. And exactly 40 minutes later, I got off the bike and texted her that I was at my destination in Koreatown, and she was at her destination in Culver City.
Wow.
So I was literally double, triple the distance that she had gone. So, but anyway, the city bus fabric is amazing, and I fully anticipated that 90% of the people would like it and 10% of the people would find it deeply offensive. I'm surprised that you fell into the offensive.
It's disgusting.
It's cool, man.
It's gross.
I mean, yes, it's gross.
I mean, it's fun.
It's gross, but
it's fun that you did that.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not offended.
It is fun.
Yeah.
And here in LA, a car is kind of like, your outfit a little bit, a little bit.
Yeah, you're showing a little jazz.
A little bit. And I like to, if I'm going to put a message out there of myself in a car,
right?
I don't want to be like some douchey shitbag in a Porsche. I want to be the guy who's in a pink Porsche with big tires on it and a bus interior. That to me, it says a little more about me than it does about...
Porsche's a weird car, right? Ferrari's 100% douchebag.
They take themselves very seriously.
It's really hard to not be a douchebag in a Ferrari. But although I did see a really interesting one that this guy built in England where he took a Dino.
Oh, yeah.
And he put a 400 plus horsepower modern Ferrari engine in it and put a clear glass over the engine bay and everything you could take off and bring the car back to stock.
It was almost the sort of singerization of a Dino. So the Dino is one of the prettiest Ferraris ever, right?
Car.
But if you've ever driven one, they sound great, but they're just slow as dog shit. I mean, they're the V6s. It's for the smallest engine Ferrari ever made.
What did you know the website for the guy that did it or the YouTube channel?
I think his name was David Lee, and he built it. And he claimed it was an F40 engine, which I don't think was entirely accurate. I think he exaggerated a little bit. I think it's an engine from a 360. That has been modified in certain ways.
Because an F40 has more than 400 horsepower.
Well, it also had turbos, and it's not like you just wouldn't use an F40 engine for that. Right. It would be like using something that's very valuable and not really replaceable for purposes of modification. Doesn't make much sense when other options are available that could deliver you the same result.
Like a 360. What did a 360 have when it came with the Modena?
400 horsepower. Around 400.
And the Dino's got to be what is it?
The Dino was
2,500 pounds.
Yeah, maybe. They're tiny. They're tiny, and they're made of nothing. I mean, 2,500 is maybe a good number.
They're
so
little. Wild.
Yeah, and I've heard that car. That car lives here.
Really?
Yeah, that car lives in Los Angeles.
No
The black
way.
one. Yeah, it lives here. I've seen it at car shows. Yeah,
that's got to be a $500,000 car,
business. Right? It's weird because you actually have to. Yes, it probably is. $500,000 would be a very low estimate for that car.
700,000,
maybe. Yeah. A really good original Dino is There it is. So it's actually
that's not the car because the car has a hardtop, or is it a Targa?
It's a Targa. It's a Targa.
Oh, look how pretty it is.
It's better with the roof off. Isn't
look at
it?
that picture with the back end of it right there. Yeah, bam, click on that.
So what's so interesting about the car
is
is
a Corvette.
It's actually hard to tell it apart from a regular dyno if you don't know what you're looking for. The things to look for, obviously that badge on the left that says like Evo something, and then the clear engine cover with the big bubble in the middle of the engine bonnet is changed.
Yeah. By the way, that badge can go fuck itself.
The badge doesn't need to be there. Yeah, the badge doesn't
off of there.
The exhaust is a little bigger.
I like the exhaust. I like the exhaust.
That's fine.
I wish they had some grip to the tires. Those are some skinny ass bitch ass tires.
Well, look how narrow. I mean, you know, you're talking about a car that without widening the body, there's only so much you can do. I imagine a modern rubber compound. What they did was they reproduced the dynos. I think they're Campagnolo wheels, which were probably like 15s on the dyno, and I think they're 17s here.
So pretty.
That, you want to talk expensive. Yeah, David Lee, the Monza 3.6 Evo dyno. So 3.6, that's what tells me it's a
Modena.
360 engine.
Yeah.
3.6. It was, if it was a F40 engine, it'd be a 2.8 liter engine.
Oh,
yeah.
with turbos.
With turbos, yeah.
God, that's a pretty car. Look
Which,
at
by
that.
the way, if it had an F40 engine, it'd be a fucking death trap.
Right?
You would sail that thing right off a cliff.
With 400 horsepower, it's got to be crazy fast.
Yeah, but you know what? It's going to be linear, right? Without the turbo spool,
yes.
you know, you have that natural build of power, and you really kind of can just use less throttle. It won't just jump out at you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean,
God,
you are a man of taste, Joe. That's awesome.
It's a beautiful ride. Look at that thing.
They're selling them. They're trying to build. Yeah, they're trying to build a run of them.
Oh God!
I think they're
like
I mean,
Singer.
Yeah. But here's the problem with doing this with Ferraris, though. Ferrari people, even if you did something to the level of Singer, Ferrari people aren't really like that. Ferrari people are originality over everything.
That's so weird.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
They don't like modifying the cars. They don't like a car that's previously been modified. It's all about that numbers matching shit. You know,
I don't get it.
It's not for you.
No,
it's not really for me either. I love driving the Ferraris, but like I don't align with like the Ferrari fan really values so much. But I'd like to own one soon. Maybe an '80s one.
What would
Something
you
a little
like?
silly,
like a Testarossa.
I've driven Testarossas. They're fun.
Yeah, Dana White has a Testarossa.
The maintenance is crazy.
And he had it completely redone. He's like, fuck you. We put a new interior in it, a modern stereo, everything.
It's probably nice. They need a lot of maintenance, though. Testarossas have timing belts. See, timing belts are something that Italians were doing for a long time, and that they should just never be done again.
That sounds terrible.
They wear out, and they need to be changed. And in the case of the Testarossa, you're talking about a giant flat 12 engine. They're in the front. So they're up against the firewall behind the seats. So you have to take off the whole back of the car and take the whole engine out of the car to do these timing belts.
Oh, God.
Starting with the modern stuff, they use chains. They brought that into the 21st century, and they don't have to fucking fuck with belts anymore.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. But even like Lamborghini at the time, like I have a Countach, which is the best car ever made, and you don't have to do that bullshit because even Lamborghini use chains. So you don't need to do the engine out.
Why did Ferrari go with belts?
I think they thought it was smoother. Enzo Ferrari also had utter contempt for the people who bought his street cars, and I wouldn't be surprised if he did it just so the dealers would make more money on the services, even if he knew it was worse.
Why did he have so much contempt for the people who bought his cars?
Enzo Ferrari just wanted to go racing. He was an egomaniac, and all he ever wanted to do was see his cars win races, and he came to a point where he couldn't make money doing that, and he had to sell street cars to customers, but throughout his entire life, he openly treated those people with disdain. That's the story of Lamborghini. The story of Lamborghini is Ferruccio Lamborghini had a Ferrari. It was not working for one reason or another. He went to Ferrari to complain about it. Enzo basically told him to go fuck himself. And so he said, I'll build a better car. And that's the story of Lamborghini.
And what are they owned by now? Lamborghini is owned by Audi?
Volkswagen Audi Group. Okay. Yeah, VAG.
So they're more reliable now.
Yes, but so are Ferraris. Around 2010-ish, when the 458 came out, Ferraris took a massive jump in reliability.
How'd they do that?
First off, the big one was the dual clutch gearbox, which stick shifts were one thing, right? And then these early single clutch paddle shift gearbox, they'd fry clutches like crazy. People didn't really know how to use them right, and they'd ride the clutches out, and they would just go through clutches like crazy. The dual clutch cars have much more like fail-safe type stuff built into them, and they actually work properly.
But Ferrari used to have the gated shifter, which is
the
one
best.
of the coolest things
The
ever.
best.
The
Yeah.
clinkety clink.
It's the best.
Sliding into gears.
Yeah, there's nothing more rewarding than like banging a Ferrari off the Reveler.
So why did they stop that?
People stopped. The problem with Ferrari is that they're new. You know, with the problem with all new exotic, the first owners of exotic cars is they want that new technology that's from racing, and also it's improved the drivability. You know, if you want to buy a Ferrari or a Lamborghini and drive it around in the city and use it as like a car, you could buy a Ferrari right now and it could just be your car. Like that wasn't a thing you could do really in the 70s or 80s or even 90s. Like you could literally use a modern exotic car, be it Ferrari, Lamborghini, McLaren, Audi R8, whatever, that could be your only car now. And that the gearbox technology is a lot of what's made that possible, and computer controlled like engine management systems.
God, though.
It's a little disappointing.
One thing I'm really happy that Porsche hasn't done that, but they have with the GT3 RS. Like the
GT3 RS
this last year, and now the new ones.
What do you mean, only automatics?
All automatics.
Well, the
all
RS, though, the RS is, in Porsche speak, is the fastest version of what they can build. They have the GT3 Touring with a stick. That's the one you want. You want the Touring.
Why do I want the Touring?
Because it's a fucking stick. Because the 4-liter engine with that 6-speed gearbox is the best engine transmission combination available in cars today, period.
Yeah, but the wide body GT3 RS with the vented fenders and...
You can modify. You can modify later. You just complained about people who don't want to modify. Now you're complaining about modifying.
But all that extra effort, why don't they just fucking sell it to you with a stick shift?
I don't know, bro.
Come on, man.
Talk to the Germans.
No,
I can't fucking win. They make a GT3 with a stick.
They do.
They make the Cayman GT4 with a stick. They make the Boxer Spider with a stick. You can buy a 911, any level of 911 with a stick.
Well,
you can buy all the Boxers.
You can't buy the turbo.
Not the turbo.
They're the only ones you can count on, though. It seems like it's all going away. Even Corvette, the new Corvettes, double clutch.
Yep.
They said the new GT500, they haven't ruled out the possibility of having a stick shift, but
so look, with the GT500, they just announced this thing. It's like 750 horsepower.
Yeah.
I've driven a lot of really powerful manual transmission cars. For me, once the car goes over about 500, I don't want to shift anymore.
Really?
I don't when I'm driving it on like a racetrack as fast as it will go.
Okay.
Like when I went to test the Corvette ZR1, the last front engine one, when it went just completely fucking bananas, right?
Right.
750 horsepower. I went to Road Atlanta to drive it, and they had a manual and they had an automatic for me to drive. And I drove the manual, and it was so fucking fast that I did not feel comfortable taking my hand off the wheel to do the shifts.
That makes sense.
And I was like, at this level of performance, I really need to have both my hands on the wheel. And I'm a pretty decent driver. I'm not like shit. I'm not the best, but I'm not shit.
Right.
And then when I drove the automatic car, I went, okay, I feel way more comfortable at this pace with my hands on the wheel.
Right.
But this 8-speed automatic they have is the biggest hunk of flaming shit ever put into a sports car. And so with the C8, with the new one, they got rid of the manual and decided to substantially improve the auto with a new dual clutch 8-speed, which, you know, for you and for me is sad that there's no stick. But sad. I kind of get it because it's just sort of what progress looks like.
I get it if you're going to take it to a racetrack.
Yeah.
I do get it. But how many people are taking their goddamn Corvette to a racetrack?
You know, it's not even really about that. It's sadder. It's sadder than that. It's really about how do we get the 0 to 60 time under 3 seconds? Because when they had the Z06, which was 650 horsepower, and then they had the ZR1, which was 750 horsepower, they couldn't get it to 60 any faster. Detroit is still so stuck in fucking 0 to 60 that is important for some reason. And adding 100 horsepower didn't change the 0 to 60 because with the front engine rear drive, you're just traction limited at that point, just burnouts.
Yeah.
So by putting the engine in the back, you change the weight distribution. Now you've got a dual clutch 8-speed instead of a manual 7-speed. Now you can get in that 2-second range to 60, which doesn't improve the experience, but it does improve the number on that magazine cover.
The number. But everybody know. I mean, how do you not know? It's a fucking fast car.
Yeah.
You know it's fast. The GT500's a real bummer, though. Because that's such a muscle car.
You know, it's the same gearbox.
Muscle car.
It's the same version of the Tremec dual clutch from the Corvette is in the Mustang. Yeah,
oh, wow.
It has a different number of gears. Incidentally, it has it's a 7-speed in the Mustang and an 8-speed in the Corvette, but it's same family of brand new Tremec dual clutch gearboxes.
What has a wider contact with the tires?
I don't know what the Mustang's got. If I had to guess,
Seems narrower, right?
If I had to guess, the Mustang had wider. The C8 Corvette has 305 rears. That I know.
Really? That's it?
Yeah, it's not, with a mid-engine car, what is interesting about a mid-engine car is you find this a lot. I bet if you went out and looked at a Ferrari, like a 458 or something, you'd be shocked at how narrow the tires are.
Really?
Yeah. When you do a mid-engine car, you can give up a lot of that huge fat rear rubber because the weight distribution doesn't necessitate it. Tire sizes are typically chosen by the weight distribution of the car. So like your 911, your air-cooled car, your old one, right? So you got big fat rears and you've got relatively skinny fronts. That's because that engine is over the rears. So in a mid-engined, I just looked this up for an unrelated thing, in the 458, the front tires are only 245s on that and the rear tires are 305s. So whereas a Corvette, your front tires are like a 275, the old Corvette, front tires are 275, rears like a 335. That difference in weight distribution is how big of a difference you need in tires. It's weird.
That makes sense. Have you driven the GT500?
No, I didn't get to do it yet, unfortunately. It looks fun. Someone posted a video. It ran a 10.6 quarter mile out of the box.
It's crazy.
That's fucking
It's
nuts.
a very, very fast car.
I cannot believe some of the cars that people can just buy.
Well,
now.
Speaking of which, that Porsche that you sent me the video.
Yeah, the Taycan.
I got to say it right.
Taycan. Yeah. We're going to fuck that one up for years.
That thing looks preposterous. Because, look, I know how preposterous my Tesla is. And I tell everybody when they say, oh, you have really fast cars. I'm like, see that one right there?
Yeah.
The one that looks like a dad car? That one blows all of them away.
And you can drive like a complete piece of shit because it's silent, too, and no one notices you.
It's so quiet. You just pass people. Like, you just whiz by them like nothing happened.
Yeah. That Tesla is the new BMW in terms of people who are driving like shitbags on the way to work. Because when it's silent, people don't call the cops or sneer. You're just kind of gone.
Dude, I was at a red light with some kid in a Model 3 and I was in my GT3 RS and he blew by me. Blew by. I wasn't even trying to race him because I know better because I have a Tesla, but it was the humiliation factor. He passed me and then got in front of me and then got on the highway like it was nothing.
An EV, a fast EV, if you live in Los Angeles, is the correct tool for this job. If you have a home or in your case, a fucking sick warehouse to keep it charged, supercharger network's pretty good. Yeah, but it's not. I wouldn't say you can use it exclusively. You need some kind of home base to charge, or your office. But
people that live in apartment complexes that have Teslas, I don't know how you do it.
Yeah, if you don't live in a building where you can get them to install one,
or you work in a building, where you have something.
Yeah,
there.
EVs are amazing and they're super super fun, and I totally get why people I get your EV evangelism transformation. You having gone from the analog school of manual gearboxes and fucking loud to experience that level of silent performance, and you must have felt like you're in a fucking spaceship.
It still seems like a spaceship when I drive that thing. It's so quiet.
Yeah,
it makes me feel good though.
Well, do you find that you get a little more relaxed, right?
Yeah, I like it when I take it to the airport too because I put it on auto. I go doo-doo, and I get on the 405 and I just chill.
In traffic, it's nice.
Oh,
it's nice. It is. I totally get it. Be careful with that.
Oh, I have my hand on the wheel.
No, it does. Be careful with saying it drives itself. It doesn't.
It can't?
It doesn't drive itself.
What does it do?
Here, the rabbit hole begins. It has an advanced driver's aid system. Okay, so it has follows the car in front of you, and it has a pretty good lane keep assist.
Right.
But now we go into the Joe Rogan rabbit hole of what does driving mean?
What does
driving involves decision making, and driving involves a lot of mental processes that cars can't do. And so that's when people talk about terms like self-driving cars or full self-driving or whatever, they're not usually using those terms correctly.
I know what you're
so
saying.
A bunch of cars, not just Tesla right now, although Tesla's system is very good, have a very good lane keep assist and a very good radar cruise system, and they have different methods of trying to ensure the driver's paying attention. But I think the marketing is a little bit disingenuous, and they really want people who don't know better to think and feel like this is a car that drives itself.
Well, they're kind of putting it on beta. It's all just beta.
Yeah, but that's fucking dangerous.
Changes lanes.
Bro, I'm riding my scooter.
Lanes.
I know.
Yeah.
I just had a Model 3 for a week, like a couple weeks ago, and I liked it so much, and I gave it back, and I went, God, maybe I should lease one of these. This is cool. But the auto steering feature, I used it for about 20 minutes, and it scared the piss out of me twice. And I went, nah, maybe not.
Have you seen that company called Axis that takes a Model S and they put a carbon body, wide body kit onto it?
No, that sounds like fun, though.
It's pretty dope. The Axis Model S P100D.
They replace the entire body with carbon?
They take the hood, they take the fenders off, they put wide body fenders on. They do a bunch of different shit to it. You know, most of the Tesla's aluminum. I don't think so.
I wouldn't fuck with that.
Yeah, they fuck with the suspension. They tighten up the suspension. They change the wheels, and they completely redo the interior. They strip the interior.
Well, that's where I would start.
Yeah, custom interior. Yeah. Put in whatever you want and need.
For the Teslas they're such cool cars, and they're such they're such, like you said, serene. You know what I mean? And all, I don't want to give that credit exclusively to Tesla, because other EVs provide a similar experience too. But the one place they're lacking, for the amount of money they charge, their interiors are a little behind the times.
Ask me if I'm getting one of those trucks.
Bro, good luck.
Ask me if I'm getting one of the trucks.
You getting a truck,
yeah!
Joe?
Why are you asking? Of course I'm getting one of them trucks.
Yeah.
Look at that thing. You don't like it?
No.
You don't like it?
No. I don't like it, and
How dare you?
I'm not entirely sure it's real. I mean, I think
interesting.
I think
Come on.
My initial reaction to that was, that's not a real thing.
Meet George Jetson.
And my second reaction is, I'm pretty sure they couldn't build and sell that in America.
Why?
Because I just don't think that will pass the test that it needs to pass. And furthermore,
what kind of tests?
more like crash tests, pedestrian safety, stuff like that. Furthermore, it's because, how do I say this without, it's really hard to talk about Tesla because their fans are fucking crazy. They get really mad, and they don't leave me alone about it.
They get crazy. They're coming at you already.
In the beginning, I thought that it's complete bullshit and fake and a fraud. I've talked to a few people since in the design space who design cars professionally for a living, and I have been convinced that it could be possible to build and sell a vehicle shaped sort of like that, although not exactly like that.
Okay.
Having said that, I think that the way that it has been marketed is not entirely honest.
Also,
companies show concept cars all the time.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with showing a concept car. There's nothing wrong with going, here's a prototype we built, and this is going to show the direction of our industry.
Right.
And if you build electric cars as your business, it's pretty easy to build a concept car that runs and drives, because you've got your skateboard and you can just, put any body on it, right? So odds are there's like a Model X chassis underneath that prototype truck, right? But I don't think that accepting reservations is an honest thing to do when you don't know how you're going to build the truck, there's no way that truck's on the road next year. No way.
Not it's not even supposed to be on the road next year.
Yes, he did. He said He said next year. 2021.
2023?
The full 3-motor, 500 range, badass one is like a 3-year down the line thing.
Here's the problem. Building cars and warrantying them, repairing them, selling them is like a logistics business. They're operating this company like a tech company where it runs on hype. Like, where's the Roadster? That's supposed to come out this year.
When is that coming out?
I don't fucking know. I haven't seen anything about it since the prototype.
Give me a guess.
I don't know. That's the point. They've had these product launches and they build up the hype. It juices the stock. They take the reservations, but then it's like, but you have to deliver the product, guys. You're actually a car company. You're not exclusively driven on hype.
But they have made some cars.
Of course. No, of course they made. There's one here.
Yeah.
Yes, no, I'm not saying they don't build and sell cars. They build and sell cars. But what I am saying is their business model is not like the regular car companies, in that it is so dependent on this hype machine bringing in new investors, bringing in new reservation cash. When they go, here's this crazy total recall space truck, and all it's going to cost you people to buy into my space truck vision is $100 refundable, and you're not going to find out if that $100 gets you a truck for like 2.5 years. Are you going to go after your $100 if he's late, or it's your? But I'm not saying you shouldn't buy whatever he sells.
Isn't the Roadster thing a different deal though? Don't you have to pay all the money or something?
There is a reservation process. All I'm saying
is
like
the Roadster thing was different though. Like that requires a substantial sum of money.
Right, but we haven't seen any Roadsters either.
Not one, but we saw the prototype.
Yeah, but it's easy to build a prototype when you're Tesla. Tesla can build a prototype very easily. They've got an electric skateboard. They can put any body on it. It'll look and feel like a mostly run and driving car.
What's it say here? $45,000 credit card payment plus $45,000 wire transfer due in 10 days.
Yeah.
So you got to put up $50,000.
So you're giving him a 0 interest loan of $50,000 until he delivers this product,
which is like a good income for a lot of people for a year.
Yeah,
and you got to give it up.
Correct. And so I'm not saying that they don't build and sell real cars. I'm not saying you shouldn't buy one or lease one. I am saying, and this goes for let's expand this. This isn't a dig at Elon or Tesla specifically. Let's talk about all cars. Don't pay for something that isn't then handed to you. Elon's a billionaire. Why do you need to give him a 0 interest loan of $50,000 for a Roadster? Why do you need to give him a 0 interest loan of $100 for a truck that he hasn't demonstrated he could build yet?
Why do you think they made the Roadster $50,000? And the down payment for the truck only $100?
Because I will tell you why. Because why I believe. Okay. I'm gonna put this in I believe. Okay.
Okay.
I believe it's so they could go to a bank or a VC. Because if it's only $100, you get so many. What the fuck?
Right.
What the fuck?
500,000 orders.
You go. I've got 250,000 orders. I need $1 billion. That's why you would do that. Yeah.
Look at you, clever boy.
Because look, here's the problem: is if it's legitimate, okay, if it's all on the up and up, if everything is on the up and up, there's a lot of individual pieces that don't really add up.
Right.
And a house that's not made of, it's like imagine the mortgage crisis in 2008. You took all these bad mortgages and you put them together and all of a sudden it's considered a good investment, right? So he smashed the fucking window on stage. He quoted a bunch of power and torque figures that are basically made up. He did that dumb video with tug of war of the F-150 that was completely fake.
Why is it fake?
The F-150 was in 2-wheel drive and he was towing it uphill. That's not like, if you're going to make
Isn't it easier for the car to drive downhill than uphill?
No. Towing uphill, well, it would be the weight transfer is if you have a 2-wheel drive pickup truck going downhill. My friend Jason Fensky at Engineering Explained did a whole video debunking this. But if you have an all-wheel drive extremely heavy vehicle, because let's be honest, if they build that truck, that's a 6,500 pound vehicle, steel and batteries,
right,
all-wheel drive, versus a pickup truck that's put into 2-wheel drive with no weight in the bed,
right?
That's just, so it's like all automakers make up silly games to show up their product, right? They tow the space shuttle or whatever bullshit they do, right? But they make up a game they know they can win. They don't make up a game and then cheat at it.
Right.
Like, why are you going to do a tug of war video if you then have to cheat at the video on video to do it? Like, pick a different game you know you can win. Like, what kind of a person makes up a game and then cheats at it? Like, that's just...
Well, yeah, Ford wanted to get one of their own. They're like, well, why don't you give us one of your Teslas? Let us do a video.
And then somebody up at the top said, don't engage that idiot. What are you doing? I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
So look, again...
Well, they probably can't. Realistically, it can't really compete with it.
I think a tug of war test is it's not a test of anything. It's a test of weight and tire grip. That's it.
But when you're a truck guy, you got to realize
it's a thing they do.
The truck guy is like, oh, okay, who's gonna win?
Bro, let's bring that Cybertruck over to a gravel pit and dump 2 tons of
let's
gravel.
Put a dead elk in the bed.
Did you see any of the renderings of people like camping in the Cybertruck?
Yeah.
It looks absurd.
Well, yeah.
It just dude, you want to fucking, you want to buy one? Wait till he says this is the one you can buy.
I haven't put an order in.
Yeah, I don't think
I would. It's only $100.
Congratulations, you just bought into the scam. That's you know what I mean?
I understand. I see
Like,
what you're
I don't
saying.
think it's like a full-on fraud. I just think he's figured out creative ways to get the public to bankroll shit that he already said was done. Bro, 1 million robo-taxis by 2020. Where's the robo-taxis, bro?
Is that what he said?
Yeah, this Cybertruck thing came out of seemingly nowhere, but right kind of at the same time that they figured out that full self-driving is not right around the corner as they said it was. There's a lot of backtracking going on in the full self-driving. Level 5 is not coming anytime soon. You're not going to be able to send your Tesla out to do errands for you without a driver in it anytime soon.
What was the parking? What Tesla promises 1 million robo-taxis.
Yeah.
That's from 2019, 4/19.
I mean, technically,
Wow.
they have a
That's only
year and a
April.
month left, but they have delivered 0 robo-taxis. That's a lot of robo-taxis.
Yeah,
they
a
gotta
million?
deliver. He did. He said that shit, man.
Yeah.
The
Well-
problem with Tesla is Elon says some shit that then is impossible, and then they have to figure out how to do it later, and sometimes it doesn't work.
Do you know who Kyle Dunnigan is?
No, who's that?
One of the funniest guys alive. But he's got the best Instagram on the planet, and he does face swaps in his video. You now that you know, you didn't know.
Is it the deep fake
now
guy?
That you know, he does a lot. Well, Dr. Fakenstein
Oh,
did a
that's
lot of
the
his
one.
stuff. Or
Yeah,
the
yeah,
fakening.
yeah.
The
The fakening, that's the one,
Look
yeah.
at his newest one. Give me some volume on this. Give me some volume on this, and go to full screen.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. How creepy.
Yeah.
Look at,
Fuck. Fucking shit.
Oh, great idea, Elon. Do it again. Same window, same ball. This should go differently. Nope.
Oh, fucking shit. You fool. Now I, Mark Zuckerberg, is officially cooler than you.
No, I'm cooler. I make rockets. That's cool.
Well, I connect the world through Facebook. I'm cooler.
I'm double cooler. Double.
I'm infinity cool.
Oh, my
I'm
God.
infinity plus 1. That's 1 more cooler.
You can't add anything to infinity, you fool.
Only a nerd who's uncool would know that. Very uncool.
Well, how about this?
This is too close, dude. This is too
I
real.
have all the data, and I found this invention you unveiled in high school.
So it senses if you're getting a boner in class, and then deploys this over you, so letting everyone know you don't have a boner. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. I know I could use this in Miss Tinsley's class. She got great boobs. Great boobs, Miss Tinsley. Great boobs.
Fucking weird. That smashing
How
in the
good is
glass
that?
was one of the greatest moments in automotive history.
so stupid.
I was laying in bed, and my wife was next to me asleep, and out of nowhere, oh shit, he did it again!
Why did they think that they could do that?
I don't know.
I don't
is one of
understand
the-
that.
There's
I know that
some
the idea was that when they hit the wall or hit the door with the hammer, that it broke the glass, or
No, first he was going to hit
Loosen
the
the
door with a
glass.
sledgehammer.
they did that.
But except he was using an orange hammer, which is a dead blow hammer, not a sledgehammer. So that's a little disingenuous.
Dead blow?
Yeah, it's
What's that
designed
mean?
to not dent things. It's designed to hit things without
Oh, so it's
denting them.
rubber.
Yes. Then
but still,
he
would
said the
dent
windows
fuck out
were
of a regular
bulletproof.
Tesla door.
Probably because they're aluminum, but not a thick
Right.
stainless steel panel.
Right.
It wouldn't dent a stainless steel panel. And then he goes, the windows are bulletproof or whatever. Throws a fucking steel ball right through it. And then he puts up a video the next day that's like, oh, here was us testing it right before the reveal where it actually
They
worked.
did show that it worked before. Why did it work
How
before?
do you know the video was made before and not
it's
after
fake.
they fixed it? There's a shop vac on the floor and a towel over the door as if you had just cleaned up a bunch of broken glass.
That's true.
Yeah, go look at the video. There's a shop vac on the floor with a hose laid out like right underneath the door.
Look at
Look,
that.
shop vac!
Yeah, that's true. They
And
probably-
that towel's over a door, kind of maybe if you had just smashed a bunch of glass out of it.
That's true. Come on, man. That is a dope looking car. I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. I don't
That's
care.
cool. I'm glad you don't care what anybody
all
thinks.
in.
If they make that, I will be. And can I just bring up, what is the word cyber like cool now?
Yes.
Like cyber was exclusively
Very
uncool
cool.
for like the last 15 years. It's cool again?
Very cool. Cool. Very cool.
Only nerds, only a real nerd wouldn't know that cyber is cool.
Cool plus one.
Fucking hell. It's so silly.
Well, I'm sure you've seen that Rezvani
Oh my God.
military bulletproof car that releases tax, electrifies the door handle. You know, I was
I
at
had
the
a really
fucking
bad
gas
experience
station.
with the Rezvani.
I was at the gas station once pumping gas, and this fucking Rezvani pulls up. I'm like, who is driving that fucking thing?
Was
and
it
Jamie
Tyrese?
Foxx jumps out. He goes, "What's up, Joe Rogan?" I was like, "What's up, Jamie?" There he is. Jamie Foxx.
Oh, is he a spokesman? He's got to be a spokesman or something, right?
I think he's friends with the guy who
Bro.
owns it, and the guy gave it to him or something.
That's hysterical.
I don't think he's a spokesman. Jamie's busy.
I
He's
met,
busy winning Oscars and making Grammys. He's got no time to be a spokesman for a tank.
That's hilarious. I drove this company's other car. They have a car called the Beast, the Rezvani Beast.
Oh, let me see what that looks
I
like.
drove it. It wasn't good.
Well,
No.
it's based on a Wrangler, right?
No, well, the tank is. The
Right.
Beast is based on an aerial Atom.
What?
Do you know what that is?
Yeah, the three-wheeled thing or the
that's-
four-wheel
No,
little
it's
tiny
four-wheel,
thing?
yeah.
That looks so good, though.
Right,
That's
so
not good?
No, so, Jamie, the red one with
Wait a
no
minute.
roof in
Wait,
the middle,
no,
that's
no.
the
Give
one
me
I
that.
drove.
Oh, my God.
So that's the one
not
I
good?
drove. It's
How's
not.
that not good?
It's not. It looks
How's it
good.
possible?
So what they've done there is they took an aerial Atom, which is a car that has no body on it, right? It's like driving a fucking sled, basically. And they're crazy. They're batshit.
Yeah.
And they made bodywork that goes over it. That's pretty much what they've done, okay? But in order to make it look kind of badass like a supercar, they put these really wide wheels and tires on the car.
Yes.
Which when you have an aerial Atom that has no power steering and a very dialed in and even sort of twitchy steering rack, this thing had one of the sketchiest, the sketchiest handling of top 5 sketchiest handling cars I've ever driven.
Look at the doors.
Yeah, it's a real interesting kind of door design. I've never seen one that had those doors.
They slide
That
forward?
looks CGI-ish
That
a little
seems
bit.
super annoying.
It's like the reverse minivan door.
Go
Yeah.
back to that black one. Yeah, look at that. Oh.
Look, I admit it does look pretty cool. It's a badass looking thing, but it just didn't drive good.
That's
and the
too
guy
bad.
got kind of mad at me when I made a video saying that it didn't drive good.
He got mad at you?
He got a little mad. He was
What
a
did
little
he
upset.
expect? You were going to only promote his thing for free?
I think sometimes they expect that. Yes, I
That's
think
really
it's
silly.
Weird.
You got to do a better job of making a thing.
I think now I do.
Send him to the Taycan review.
Yo.
Go, hey, look at this.
We
This
should
is what
talk
happens
about
when
the
something's
Taycan
good.
because we talked about it for 2
about it.
seconds and got away from
Dude,
it.
your video is insane. It looks like you're about to fly off the road and into space.
It is.
Might be a problem.
So it actually is. I think we're at a point, really, where cars are actually too fast to sell to regular people.
Well, I think that all the time, and I made that argument about the ZR1 because it's so sketchy to drive with the rear wheel drive.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're selling a 750 horsepower car to someone like me.
Yeah.
Who at least I know how to
Dude,
drive.
you
a
are
little bit.
probably in the top 20% of people in terms of driving ability in that car.
I can drive a little.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that get those. They don't know what happens when you stomp on the gas and go sideways.
No.
Like that fucking poor guy and Kevin Hart. When I saw that and I saw the fucking lines on the street and then off, I'm like, this guy doesn't know how to drive one of those.
Yeah, that's a
You can't
gnarly...
let someone do that.
Yeah.
You got a Hellcat engine, a rear wheel drive car.
It was a CUDA, right? Like a 70 CUDA?
A 70 CUDA, yeah. By the way,
Double the horsepower of stock.
I bought my 70 CUDA back.
I heard you did.
Yes,
Congratulations.
thank you very much.
You're gonna make it handle?
Sending it to Roadster Shop.
Oh yeah, perfect. They'll do a good job.
Yeah.
But with Kevin's crash, he was not driving, right? Someone else was driving.
His friend was driving, and his friend stomped on the gas, and the car went fucking sideways, and he didn't know what to do.
Yeah,
You just can't do that with regular folks. If you're gonna have a car like that, you got to say, hey man, you ever driven a real muscle car before?
Yeah.
How about one with 750 fucking horsepower?
Yeah.
You can't do that, man. You got to understand what you're
I think a CUDA
doing.
is probably 500 or 600 pounds lighter than a Hellcat too.
Probably.
I mean, really light and really gnarly. And with those custom builds like that, it's hard. I think someone's suing the shop that built it, which is really unfortunate.
Because it's like they're suing because of the waist belts, no roll cage, all that shit.
I think that I hope they don't win because if they do, it's a really bad scene for custom cars all over, but even brand new cars. I just had a McLaren 720, which is my favorite supercar on the market right now. And this thing is 800 horsepower.
It's a demon of a car.
Have you driven one?
No, but I've seen them.
Fucking crazy, dude. I was at Auto Club Speedway, the NASCAR track, 180 miles an hour on the front straight.
What?
I mean, yeah. And if you
How much does it weigh?
3,100 pounds. Yeah,
800 horsepower.
That's me. That's me about to
my
get black
God.
flagged for drifting in a track day.
Really?
Yeah.
They give you a black flag?
Yeah, they don't like when you're drifting in track days.
What if you said it was a mistake? I didn't know how much horsepower it had.
I got black flag on like the 10th slide. If you do it once, you can be like, oh, I'm managing the
Whoopsies.
throttle.
Trying to figure it out.
When the smoke is wafting across on the
and you're
straight. But with that car, I mean, oh my God, it's so fucking good, Joe. Joe, that car is, in my opinion, the pinnacle of gasoline-powered street car performance.
Really? That's a strong statement.
I
from
think
you.
I've never driven, because you know why? It's not just that it's batshit fast, because a lot of their cars are batshit fast too, although very few are this fast. It has this magic suspension technology. It doesn't have sway bars. Do you know how sway bars work?
Yeah.
So you can put a stiffer sway bar in your car and it makes it roll less in corners.
Yeah.
So typically you have to trade off, roll and compliance for stiffness and performance.
Right.
The 720 does not use sway bars. Instead, it uses an electronically actuated independent valve system that allows you to mimic an infinite number of sway bar combinations in between, full stiff and non-existent. So when you put the car into comfort mode, I shit you not, it rides like a Rolls Royce. Like a Rolls Royce, not even like a 5 Series BMW or your Tesla, like a Rolls Royce. And then you crank it to track and you go full Dorifto and it's just bonsai time.
How much is one of those?
That one is a Spider, so it's $450,000. You can buy them used. The problem with McLarens and buying them new is they depreciate like crazy.
Oh, do they?
So you can buy almost exactly the same car, like 2 years old, for like $250,000.
Really?
Yeah.
That much?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Didn't Stylebender buy one of those? He bought a McLaren, but did he buy that model? Do you know who Stylebender is?
No, who's that? The name
UFC
sounds familiar.
UFC middleweight champion.
Oh, cool.
Bad motherfucker.
I've tried to listen to so much of your fighting shows. I'm just not that into it.
I get it.
It's okay.
It's all right.
It's okay. But
You're into a lot of shit.
oh yeah, he's got a 720. There it is.
There
That's
it
the
is.
car. Yep,
Look at
that's
that.
a 720. And if that's his garage, he's got a 675 LT in the background as well.
That's
Very
where
bottom.
he bought it. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, no, he's got that's the right car for sure.
It's a Spider too, so the roof comes up and back.
11 seconds while you're driving.
Whoa.
11 seconds up
How
and down.
fast can you go?
I think it's up to 40 or something. You can go pretty. You can be going pretty good.
Christ.
Yeah, I put it up just while driving around. And
Really?
yeah, and I drove through the rain, and I learned that if you go 74 miles an hour, you stay dry. Keep it over 74 with the top down, you're staying dry.
So it just whistles past you.
Right over your head.
Wow. But whatever you stop at a red light and you're
Oh
fucked.
no, you're done. It's got to happen on the highway.
But
But you
11
make the
seconds
sickest
later.
rooster tails. This car makes the sickest rooster tails. If you hammer down in the rain, because it spools up the water out the diffuser, and it gets hit with the exhaust, and it does like a Top Gun swirl.
No.
It's the fucking tits.
No.
Yeah.
Is
it's
there
the best.
video of this anywhere?
I don't know if I got video of it.
How did you not get video of the sickest thing you've ever seen?
No, sometimes it's a missed opportunity.
God, that sounds so crazy. It's so much money. $450,000 is so
know.
much money for a car.
I know.
There's so many of these custom cars that people are making now, like Singer with that $1.8 million
The
air-cooled-
DLS.
Yeah.
You know about that thing?
Yes,
The
yes.
dynamic and lightweighting study. Yeah. Chris Harris was just
first
on my
of all,
show talking about it.
I have a real problem with you calling a car a study. Like
I didn't call it that.
anybody doing that, like settle the fuck down.
I'll tell you what, if Elon called that truck a study, I might be a little less angry about it.
It's a study. It's so cool. Super cool.
That's very good. South Africa.
Yeah, that
So
thing.
that's the
That
DLS,
is a
yeah.
$1.8 million car that's not nearly as fast as that McLaren.
No, but it's got one of the gnarliest engines that money could buy at any price.
Yeah, the sound.
That engine, specifically in that, is a 4-liter co-developed by a guy named Hans Metzger, who developed the engine in your GT3 RS. He's a legend, the legendary Metzger engine,
Yeah.
which people talk about at Porsche. Co-developed by Metzger and Williams, the Formula One team.
Jamie, pull up the video of that so we can hear
So
the sound.
the sound of this, I think it revs to like 10.5.
What?
Yeah, it
No.
revs. It's because this is the first ever air-cooled 911 engine that has a 4-valve head.
9,000 RPM.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I thought it revs to above 9, but it's bananas. Oh, this is Chris Harris driving up the hill at Goodwood, I believe.
Wow,
Look at the exhaust.
Carbon fiber.
Dude,
everything.
this car is bananas.
God, so pretty.
I don't know who's driving it.
You'd have to be
that's
so rich to even consider this.
Well, you know how they ended up doing this? They literally had a customer who came to them and said, you know, $500,000 for the normal car. That's great and all. But what if I gave you a full-on blank check? Full blank check. This is what they end up with.
Give me
check.
some volume. Give me some volume.
Turn this shit up. Bro. See, that's what you need in your life. Listen to this flyby.
It's great. But let me be honest with you.
It's like a $400,000 engine.
It's not as cool as a Sharkworks 911 GT3 RS. It's not. Because the Sharkworks is just as fast. You could drive it anywhere. You park it anywhere. It handles probably better.
Maybe. I don't know.
Sounds just as good.
Bro, there's no rhyme or reason or math that leads you to buy something like this.
The air-cooled thing is a weird world is what I'm getting into. That world's weird. Like, if you had a 500 horsepower engine anywhere else that cost you $400,000, people would kill you.
Yeah.
You'd be like,
Air-cooled
what
is
are you
like...
talking about?
Yeah.
They beat you to death. Did you just charge me $400,000 for a fucking engine?
Yes.
I'll kill you.
Yeah. Did we talk about this on the last show?
No, we talked about this in text.
Okay,
we were talking about
the value. Yeah, air-cooled horsepower is like the worst value in motoring.
Yeah.
So if you want, like, let's say you're starting with an engine that works. You buy a regular car, like my Carrera is an 87. It's my Porsche started. You're starting with an 87 Carrera, okay? And you go in and you have an engine that works, and you go to a performance shop and you say, this engine makes about 200 horsepower as it is. I want it to make 300 horsepower. You have to give him your engine and probably $50,000 or $60,000. If you want that engine to make 350 horsepower, you probably have to give him $100,000. And if you want that engine to make 400 horsepower, you have to give him $250,000. That's what it costs to get that type of... So when you see cars like a Singer, where you go, okay, here's a Singer 911 and it's $600,000, $250,000 of that is the engine. A Singer's got $50,000 in leather in it. $50,000 in raw leather materials.
Just the materials.
Just the materials.
God.
Yeah. This shit adds up like real fast.
Well, the interiors of those things are special.
Crazy.
They're really special.
Really, really special.
But I mean, I guess like that's what that Rob guy wanted to do, right? Like he's
cost no object.
Yeah, he's
everything
really into bespoke everything, and their whole thing. Everything is important,
and there's a market for it too. Yeah. I mean, John Ward with your Bronco over there is maybe a half a bump down from that. Yeah. Not quite as obsessed, but on that same level.
Oh
you know?
yeah. Those aren't cheap.
No, the Icon stuff is great, and they've got great taste. I think
he's got
weird.
Great style. What I love about Jonathan Ward is his style, like what he's into.
Yeah,
like I love that he makes those derelicts.
Yeah,
and the way the guy talks
his
about
taste
it.
is perfect.
Oh, he's got amazing taste. His ideas and design taste.
But I just had a thought. Earlier, you were kind of lamenting how these modern supercars aren't analog and they don't do That right there is where companies like Singer and Icon come in. They will deliver you that analog, not just an analog product. They'll deliver you like in 1999, Porsche stopped making air-cooled engines. They started making water-cooled engines. But like Singer and some other people are like, well, what if you continued developing the air-cooled engine from where Porsche left off? And so that is how you end up with, you know, $500,000 because people that have this kind of money are willing to pay for that analog experience, but without any sacrifice at all.
Or the $1.8 million.
Well, I think they made, I don't know how many, 20 or 30 of those, but that's
20 or 30?
Bro, these fucking Saudis and these Chinese guys, it's not, there's no either or. There's no either or anymore. You know what I mean? With these $1 million plus cars, it's all the same 300 people.
Really?
Yes, the average Bugatti owner has like 50 cars. 50. Not fucking 5 or 10. Yeah. It's the same 300
Post
people.
Malone has one.
Just hoovering up shit.
So is Tracy Morgan.
I know. Tracy Morgan crashed his on the first day.
First day.
Tracy Morgan, I love seeing Tracy Morgan in a Bugatti. That to me is just fucking spend that Walmart money, you motherfucker. Spend all of it.
How much did they give him from the crash?
I don't think anyone's ever said, but it was tens of millions of dollars, if not hundreds of millions of dollars.
It's a lot of money. I mean,
it's whatever his lifetime earning potential was as Tracy fucking Morgan.
That's barely.
That's a Bugatti Grand Sport Vitesse. The roof comes off.
And he's
look at that fucking Honda Element just turned.
My God.
Not Element, a CRV just crushed.
Just turned right into him.
Bro, that CRV's insurance is fucked.
But that's the kind of car that's going to hit you. A minivan that doesn't give a fuck about life.
I mean, that's,
They're like, oh.
You can worry about that kind of shit, or you can. Yesterday, I was in my off-road 911 here, and there was a double right turn lane, right? And I was on the outside one, and someone was on the inside one, and they were on their phone, not fucking paying attention. We both make the turn, and they don't stay on theirs. They just drift into mine.
Of course.
So I go into the dirt shoulder and fucking hammer down sideways out the dirt shoulder and pass them out of the dirt. That's why you want an off-road 911.
Yeah, I guess. For those rare moments when you get driven off by an asshole in a minivan.
Yeah. Oh, we took a left, but
Taycan.
It's like 700 horsepower. I think they're calling it 610 horsepower and 750 torque. But just like the Tesla, the torque is
instantaneous.
It's at zero.
Yeah.
It's at zero. So you saw in the video I sent you, the fucking launch?
Yeah.
It's, we're really splitting hairs here with the Tesla and the Porsche. What does 2.4 feel different from 2.5? Like, no. I don't know, but my eyes hurt.
Yeah,
after
same shit, right?
And the Porsche has this really interesting thermal management system. So Tesla, although they do a beautiful road car for the city, they've never gone racing. They don't know about endurance racing or real high performance driving. I mean, you've seen them kind of struggle with the Nürburgring a little bit. It's a little harder than it looks over there.
What did happen with the Nürburgring with the Tesla?
I think they went over there with a prototype. They took the interior out of it.
Plaid prototype,
yeah,
right? Which means the wide body. It's a wide body version with 3 engines, I believe.
Yeah, they weren't talking about what it was, but I think it's a 3-motor car with a widened body and a different aero package and different tires. There were some, and they went back with one with a giant like GT3 wing on it too.
That's hilarious.
It seemed like the number they originally put out, and you guys talked about on the show, Jamie looked it up, was a compilation of best sector time. So they released this sort of theoretical best time, but they never actually ran that complete lap. The big difference between a Tesla and the Porsche right now is thermal management, managing heat and cool sort of where it needs to go. Yeah, there's the prototype. And I believe that Tesla can build, they're exactly the kind of company that can build a one-off prototype that could go around the Nürburgring very fast. Like, they're lean, they could do that.
You could see how it's wider.
It looks cool. It looks badass.
It does look
it looks
badass.
Awesome.
But we didn't put out the Apex. Show me a photo of the Apex. Apex Tesla S.
So the Taycan has this really interesting thermal management system that integrates the brakes, the battery, the motors, and the cabin heat, cabin climate control, all in one system. And so it's very common that one system will need heat while the other needs to be cooled, and one will need. So if the brakes are hot, and they need to be cooled, but the cabin is cold and needs to be hot, they use the brake heat they can send heat or cold anywhere in the car it needs to go.
But go stay up there. Go back.
That looks okay. It's not that bad.
Oh, it doesn't let you change it?
It changes.
Oh, there it goes.
Look, that's not bad. It's okay. I've seen worse.
Swap everything out with carbon fiber, but they put dope wheels on it. But the interior is where the magic
I would like to see the interior. I don't really see a point to doing body kits on EVs. But,
I think the idea
there you go. Quilted leather, little armrest, some carbon.
I think the idea is that...
There you go.
Go back up. See on the left there with the body at the
wheels are nice.
Yeah, they put larger wheels, wider
what are those
tires.
brakes? What does that say on it? Does that say unplugged on the brakes? Oh,
yes.
God.
I think that's their company.
It's called Unplugged Performance? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Apex. Unplugged Apex S.
I mean, it's not for me.
I think they put carbon fiber brakes on it.
Are those carbon ceramic brakes?
Yeah, I think carbon ceramic brakes.
Oh, wow.
I think they
probably charge a lot of money for that.
I'm sure it's not cheap.
I don't know. Maybe the interior, but I wouldn't. Carbon ceramic brakes. How about that?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe they could do it.
19-piece
So with
Porsche,
like, so your Tesla, for instance, if you want max performance, like the hardest launch you can do, you got to have like 80% battery or more, and it'll only let you do a couple of them in a row before it starts to get noticeably slower. Right. You know what I mean? It'll let you launch, but you want that 2.5 or whatever it is. It's only going to be your first couple launches where you get it.
Right.
The Taycan will give you full performance until the battery's dead.
Whoa.
So I did a full bore launch control start with like 40 miles of range on the battery.
Now, how many miles can it get from fully charged?
In theory, 300.
In theory.
Yeah.
But that's you driving like an old lady.
So I was able to drive around normally, and I found that the range estimate was pretty accurate. I only got the car for 1 day. So it was pretty accurate. And then I went to the canyons, and in that video, I burned off 40% of the battery just making that video.
Really?
Yeah. It would be the same in a Tesla. It's not. It's when you start driving real fast in EVs, bro. Yeah. You're just smoking through battery.
But and do you think that with the demand, technology will improve to the point where they can get like real range out of these things? Like the theoretical range of the Tesla Roadster was like 600 miles, but again, that's never been done. Right?
I think. So I'm not an expert on EVs, and there's like electrical engineers that will be screaming fucking at their iPods right now.
Well, it's
I believe I know, right? I believe that the 300-mile range is good. That's a good amount of range. The key that we will see that will really be a game changer is battery charge times. Can we get a charge in 5 minutes or 10 minutes and not 30 minutes or an hour?
Right.
And the number of stations, the opportunity to charge.
And that's an issue with the Porsche over the Teslas. They don't have the supercharging network, right?
Correct. Although they are using the Electrify America network, which is actually, it's another one of the networks that's meant for like normal EVs. It's actually bigger.
Really?
But they don't have as many super high-speed chargers. So the Tesla and all EVs on the market right now, except the Taycan, all the rest are 400-volt systems, okay? And the Tesla is probably the best, most efficient use of 400-volt architecture. 800-volt architecture, if Porsche is to be believed, is more efficient. It's a lighter setup. It flows in and out faster than the 400-volt system. There's a couple other advantages to it, but it can charge really, really fast through the correct chargers. There just aren't that many of the super fast ones around. There's only 3 in LA right now. One is in Burbank, at the Best Buy in Burbank is the closest one to here. And I charged one from almost dead to almost full in about 18 minutes.
Wow.
At that one, yeah. But there just aren't very many. So
you can go, stop, grab a cup of coffee, get a bite to eat
go to Best Buy.
Yeah, stroll around.
Yeah.
You come out, you got 80% of your juice.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It went fast enough that I could watch it go 6, 7.
Really?
8, yeah. It was pretty good.
That's not bad.
Yeah, if they get the number of stations right, I think the real problem with EV adoption, especially in a place like LA, is the infrastructure, man. I don't think this city generates enough electricity through its grid for all of us to be charging cars at home.
That's a good point, right? Because it would, if we got all the millions of cars that are now charging, it would radically change everything.
Yeah.
Unless everybody switches over to solar.
Even solar, I don't think is efficient enough. Right. That's the other problem is now it's a homeowner's thing. And so like EVs are awesome. Like if you like how an EV drives and you like the experience of owning one and it works for your life, like 1,000% get an EV. But is a 90% EV adoption rate in LA something that's really realistic? Like not anytime soon. I just don't think so. I'm building a building right now, and so I know I'm learning about how much power the city will give me in my building. And I don't have enough. I'm building a brand new building, and the city won't give me enough power to put more than 2 level 2 chargers in my building. I was like, yo, let me get a bank of 5. My building will be an EV charging spot. And they're like, no can do, bro. We won't, no power. So,
really?
Yeah.
And can you enhance the amount of power that you have?
Not really. I mean, solar, solar will reduce your bill, but it doesn't give you more amps in the building.
Unless you're completely off grid.
Correct.
And then you'd have to have some
And then you'd have some
generator.
giant, now you're in the weeds.
Yeah, now you're doing the opposite. You're like burning fucking dinosaur fuel to try to keep your shit going.
And I don't, with a new building, I'm no expert, but all the people who are experts are telling me that I should wait a year or 2 and see what my utilities are before I'd even attempt solar. Because I might, if you put it in now, how do you know if you've saved any money?
Right. Yeah.
I'm obligated by law to make my building solar ready. So I had to reinforce the roof. Yeah. There's a bunch of shit when you're building a building that you got to do to.
In 2019.
Yeah. My building is the only West Side Collector Car Storage, my new business.
And it's open for reservations currently.
Yes, we'll be open in January. We're a little bit behind, but construction's hard as it turns out. It's the first time that we've ever put indoor quad stackers in Southern California. We have 4 high vehicle stackers. We have 18 of them.
What are you doing about earthquakes?
The
rubber everywhere.
2019 code, dude.
Yeah,
dude. We have more concrete and rebar. I mean, we're up to it. We're good for a 12.0 earthquake. That's what we're rated at. That's a 2020 standard.
I want a house like that.
It's, bro. I poured 110 cement trucks.
Wouldn't that be great if the world's on fire and just sitting there sipping tea?
Dude, well, speaking of that, so the dividing wall in between the car storage area and the members lounge, my office and my studio, is legally required to be a 2-hour firewall. So you can sit there and have a tea and watch a fire on the other side for 2 hours and then just walk out the front door.
Really?
Yeah, that's a law for LA for 2019.
Wow.
We had to have the fire code written for us. It sucked.
That seems pretty cool, though, that they're doing that they're making these standards extremely high.
I believe that it's good to have high standards, and that you can get it. You end up with a higher quality product, and you can then charge more for it. And that's sort of how it works. But
that's a big leap for you to just jump in and build some crazy car storage building.
Yeah, I've never done shit like that before.
Did you think about that? Like the amount of money that must cost is fucking extraordinary.
I'll tell you off mic, but
I can only guess.
You could probably guess, but it's crazy and it's scary. And it started small. And then it was like, well, the model doesn't work small. What about medium? Well, the model doesn't work medium either. What about big? Well, it only works big if you build the building. Because the land is so expensive that you have to go vertical, and you can't go vertical in an existing structure because it just doesn't meet earthquake codes. So you have no choice but to build. And then there's a law in LA that if you build for every 1,000 square feet of commercial real estate you need to have 2 street accessible parking spaces. So I had to dig a basement. So I dug a 7,000 square foot basement. So I have 30 underground parking spaces. That counts. So half the cost of the building was digging the basement.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah.
And where is this?
It's in Playa Vista. It's across the street from Google and Yahoo and the Clippers building.
Oh, all those dirty rich people.
Dirty rich people. Dirty.
Filthy.
Yes.
Filthy rich.
Yes.
Wow, that's cool.
You got to come see it, man. It's the coolest.
Where's Playa Vista? What is that near?
It's right off the 405 in Jefferson.
On the way to the
between
airport,
Marina Del Rey and LAX.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Perfect for people who live out of town. Hit me up, westsidecollectorcarstorage.com. That's the end of my plug. I'm done plugging.
Visit.
But I'm learning so much about concrete and steel and all this crazy shit. Concrete's a weird science, man.
Oh, I'd imagine.
It's crazy. The pressure testing, and there's different mixtures, and they shake all the rebar to get it to settle. It's fucking nuts.
Jesus.
Yeah, you got to wait for the perfect day to do your pour.
How long have you been building this?
4 years.
4 years.
Yeah, 4
That's
years.
right. When we first started talking about it, it was at least 2 years ago. Wow.
We broke ground 2 years ago. I broke ground in August of 17.
Dude, you must be shitting your pants with all that money.
I'm so exhausted.
I don't know how to handle that.
I'm so exhausted.
I have friends that have built houses before, and I'm like, fuck, man. We remodeled our kitchen once. For 8 months, we were cooking on a hot plate in the living room, and I was like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah. It's like, it's like a project car, We're at the point where the car looks done.
Right.
It basically looks done, except there's just so much left to do. And dealing with the city is so hard. This is why I'm a little less optimistic about others in terms of the adoption rates of EVs and stuff like that and solar and stuff like that, because it's working with the city for this stuff is so hard, and it's taken me so long to do one stupid fucking building that like we're looking at a whole city. Like, I don't know how anything got built here. It's crazy.
Do you think about moving?
Man, sunshine's free and weed's legal.
Whoa.
So nice.
Good point.
I know that's corny as fuck, but
makes me want to spark up a joint.
Let's do it. It goes a long way. Yo, what about that Kevin Smith shit? Kevin Smith was up in here talking about his snoochie boochies. Bro,
it's just weed.
I know it is.
Kevin Smith's a great guy.
I know it is, but I had the thought when I was listening to your show, and it was like, you're telling me the fictional drug dealer from that movie I loved when I was 13 is now a real drug dealer, but legally and as that movie character. That is some crazy ass shit.
Yeah, that's basically what's going on.
What is this?
Mike Tyson weed.
This is Mike Tyson weed?
Yeah. How about that?
Do I go get a face tattoo afterwards? Is that what happens?
You don't have to. But if you smoke the whole thing, you probably want one.
Wow. Does he sell this like this?
Yeah.
It's a full Godfather blunt?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
A giant fat blunt that looks like a
that
fucking
is crazy.
cigar.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
all right.
It's pretty fucking good.
Dude, what do we need to talk about with cars? Is there anything else happening in the industry that you want to know about?
Well, I mean, the Taycan, I don't think we've like completely covered it. No, my question with all these cars is what is next? Right? It's like we're seeing these incredible 0 to 60 under 3 second times.
Yeah.
We're going to eventually see the range increase. But if you had asked me 10 years ago, are we going to see a 2.4 0 to 60 sedan that feels like it's violating physics when you stomp on the gas? I mean, that's what I drive. It has a laptop for a screen.
We've gotten to about, I don't know, right maybe 10 years ago or so, the trajectory of increased performance got very steep.
Yeah.
Where, the new version of every car has 100 more horsepower.
It's crazy.
And now we've got these high performance EVs, and with a high performance EV, you've built a dragster. That's a fucking dragster. I mean, the Taycan does a quarter mile in the low 10s. I mean, so you can, I don't want to be flippant and say all it takes is money, but all it takes is money. You walk into a dealer and you're buying a dragster that, you used to need an NHRA license to run that fast. Now you could do it on the way to Whole Foods.
That's crazy.
And so with Taycan, the real difference for me between Taycan and Tesla is the steering and handling, because Teslas have very video gamey steering. Yeah. It's accurate and it's sharp, but it's not.
You don't feel it.
No, the Taycan has the steering system from the Porsche 992, and so it feels like a Porsche. And so when I drove it, I texted you. I go, Joe, this is for you.
Well, Tesla figured out how to make it go fast, and they figured out how to make it handle pretty good.
How to make it cool.
Yeah,
they figured out how to make an EV cool, because EVs, remember the RAV4 EV fucking Ed Begley was driving in the 90s? Like,
what is this, Jamie?
Video they had. I was just going to put it on so you could...
One of the things that makes Porsche Taycan different is they have a 2-speed transmission. Your Tesla is 1 gear. So your Tesla from 0 to 120 is bananas, but it pretty much dies off because it runs out of gear. Because most people don't really need to go faster than that. Right. But Porsche, with their Autobahn stuff, they need more at the top end. So the Taycan actually switches into second gear and keeps pulling like crazy, above 80 to 100 miles an hour. And the biggest difference, though, dynamically, is like, how in your Tesla you can drive with 1 foot? Like one pedal. When you lift off the pedal, it brakes the car. Yeah. And so you can pretty much drive around with 1 foot. Taycan doesn't do that. So Porsche believes that the kinetic energy built up by motion is better used by allowing the car to just coast as far as possible than by hitting the regen and capturing it in the form of braking the way that Tesla does. Now, you can turn that function off in the Tesla.
Does that have an impact on if it's doing that? Does it have an impact on the way it feels?
Well, it feels. I mean, yes, because you have to use the brakes more in everyday situations.
Slow down the car quicker to use the brakes more? Have regenerative? The way Tesla does
it doesn't necessarily slow the car down faster.
So it doesn't
just
make a
means that you do
60 to 0 time?
No. In fact, if I believe the Porsche is ultimately better at that. It's the only real difference is that when you lift off the gas in a Tesla, it slows down as if someone is applying the brakes.
Yeah.
In the Porsche, you just pure coast. It's a pure coast, and it's a really. It's an even more of a coast feeling than a gasoline car. It's like you're freed of all restraint. Wow. Like, because after I fucking mobbed up the mountain making that video that I sent you, I was like, oh shit, dude. I've only got like 40 miles of range left. I got to get off this fucking hill. Yeah. And so I was at the high point in the hill, and I go, let's coast. And so I just coasted, and I was like, let's see how far I can go without touching the brakes. And I got this motherfucker coasting up to like 100 miles an hour, taking corners and not using the brakes because the handling and the grip were so good. I coasted like 12 miles down the hill.
Dude, what about a deer? What about a boing, boing, boing right in front
alertness.
of you? Boom.
It's about that alertness.
Splatter. Also,
Dude, I've seen some crazy shit while I'm filming, and I've never been able to not stop the car.
No, I believe me. I know you can drive.
I saw the guy pulling a log down the road, just on a chain.
Oh my god!
There was a guy in a Ford Explorer driving in a windy canyon like this.
Didn't you make a video of this?
Yeah, I caught it on camera, and with a log like the size of like a car engine, just free on a chain,
swinging,
taking out signs. And
Jesus Christ,
craziness. Sometimes I almost threw that video in the garbage too.
It's amazing how little of that there really is.
Oh yeah, here it is.
People are so goddamn crazy.
I think it right there. Back it up 20 seconds, Jamie. 20 more. Yeah. So come around this corner. Look. Log.
That guy's got a log.
Just free dragging that shit.
That is so crazy that he thinks that's okay.
And if you back the video up like 30 more seconds, Jamie, you can actually see, not from the very beginning, a little forward, you can see the trail that the log has made on the road. It made like a line of kind of dirt on the road, and it goes back and forth across the road, and you go, well, what the hell was that?
Dude, that's so crazy. You know what's really crazy about that? That could start a fire.
Oh my God.
Couldn't it?
Probably, but it could also swing into an oncoming car. That's like a 500-pound log.
Yeah, it definitely could swing into an oncoming car. That guy definitely doesn't have control of it. It's definitely a terrible, terrible idea.
No. But I managed to stop a supercharged Lamborghini doing that. That's, by the way, that's not my YouTube video. Someone has stolen my YouTube video.
Motherfuckers.
Yeah. Gotcha. Motherfuckers.
These motherfuckers.
Yo, dude, hit that fraud protection, Jamie.
That's incredible. That's a crazy thing to see. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's knuckleheads out there, man. There's a lot of them.
I go quick, but I go up there at times that I know almost for certain that the road is empty. The roads that I use are not commuter roads, and I go there at times where it's highly unlikely to see people.
That's the same amount of time in the day where that guy drags logs. It's like that's the same spot.
Excellent point, sir.
Same spot on the dial. Hey, when I drag my logs, no one's on that fucking mountain.
God damn it!
What are you doing up there? Speeding?
Yeah, that's true. That's
so
a good point.
He gets his logs, man.
Point
too
taken.
Heavy to pick up.
I've seen other weird shit. I've seen people doing push-ups in the street.
Oh,
I've seen,
Jesus Christ!
I've seen people on horseback in the street.
Dude, some guy just died who is a world-class climber. Did you hear that?
What happened?
He fell 1,000 feet. Man.
Oh. Not Alex
Honnold. No.
Did you meet that? Did you interview him?
I've had him on twice. He's fascinating.
That movie is crazy.
Dude, he's on another level. He's like a Zen master.
Yeah. Because he has that like smoke show of a girlfriend. He pretty much tells like, oh, you just do your thing. I'm going to be on this wall.
Dude, he freaks me out. I mean, freaks me out to the point where, like, talking about him, my hands start sweating. I get super nervous.
Oh, I got real sweaty watching that movie.
I get freaked out thinking about him. What he does is like off the charts nuts, man. He's 1,000 feet in the air, and he's just no ropes. It's holding on with one hand,
straight T-shirt.
Fuck, man, I can't even
That
watch it.
thumb thing in that movie. What's the name of the fucking movie? Free Solo, thank you.
Free Solo.
When he goes, you have to put your thumb, and it's like on this postage stamp size.
Yep.
Fuck,
and that's how he's staying alive. Fuck this.
That's crazy. I don't have that.
You gotta stay calm.
I don't have that thing.
I got none of that.
Can't. It's I can't do that shit.
No, I'm not interested. But I'm amazed that he can, and I'm fascinated to watch him. It's like I just don't want him to ever get hurt. He's a really nice guy.
I mean, you feel like he just needs to be on that edge, right? Some of those people they need that. My hands are sweaty talking about this guy.
Me too.
Fuck. Or maybe that's Mike Tyson's weed.
It's Mike Tyson's weed.
Could be.
Yeah, you combine Mike Tyson's weed and that dude climbing.
Look at that picture. What about the guy taking that picture?
Put that down.
Does that guy get a credit?
Put that down, Jamie.
Fucking hell.
I'm too high to look at that.
Tell me how you like your Grand Seiko watches.
They're very nice.
The last time I came on the show, I talked to you about my Grand Seiko watch, and your show is so good for business that I got a handwritten letter from the CEO of Grand Seiko.
Wow. That's very nice. They make beautiful stuff.
They do.
I love mechanical shit.
Yeah.
I love things where someone's making it and there's gears and there's innovation. And I'm just, I don't know what part of our monkey brain is so fascinated by innovation and craftsmanship and shit like that.
What's cool to me about watches is like they're these crazy math machines. And I had a watch called an IWC perpetual calendar that was like, it was like a big fucking tank of a watch, and it would do time, the day, date, the month, the year, 4 digits year, the moon phase, and it had a power, and it basically it knew all the leap years. It knew how many days, that's it, how many days there are in a month. And if you kept this fucking thing wound, and on either wearing it or on a winder, you didn't have to adjust it for 400 years.
Oh my God.
Like, you don't have to adjust it until the year 2400. That's fucking crazy. That's just springs and wheels, dude. Isn't that nuts?
That really is nuts. And when you put it that way, it's astonishing, because it's an interesting combination of engineering and art.
Yeah.
Right? And it looks really pretty.
Yeah.
But it also, it's phenomenal engineering. Like, who are the wizards behind that?
There's a watch called a Vacheron Constantine. It looks like a clock. It's like as big as this clock. It has the most complications of any watch ever made. It has 57 complications. Oh, so God. One mainspring drives 57 different spring and gear sets that do 57 different things, and it will continue like that. That's some funky, weird ass art piece. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. That's some weird shit.
Dude,
but yeah,
that's bonkers.
I know, but I know what you mean.
That someone's doing that. That's what they're doing. They're making it. And here's a really bonkers thing: when you find out that they started making them in like the 40s and. Like, what?
Oh, you mean a guy who's worked on one watch for like a decade?
No, but like, if you think about like automatic watches, like Rolex or something like that, when did they start making those?
Well, mechanical watches they've been making since like the 1700s. If you want to talk about strictly like the automatic winding rotor, just Jamie, it's Vacheron Constantine 57 complication.
When was the first automatic winding watch?
It was like in the early, like probably World War II. Time.
Crazy.
Yeah, the winding rotor. Maybe a little early. Maybe like the 20s. It might have actually.
So did you have to wind it?
What you're looking at, that's one side. There's shit on both sides of that thing.
What?
Isn't that crazy?
What is all that nonsense?
It's so much shit. I don't even know. I honestly don't even know.
I can't read that.
I don't know. And there's a list. There's a Wikipedia page for that watch that has the list of all the complications.
Shit, man.
But something like that, you're literally talking like it's probably $6 or $7 million to buy something like that. Someone just paid $30 million for a watch.
What?
Yeah, the most. I think might have been the most expensive. It was a Patek.
It's a weird thing, right? Because it is the gentleman's jewelry.
Right. Yeah.
It's the gentleman's jewelry, where it's like literally like 90% for other guys. Like,
yeah,
look, is that a Parody?
Yeah. And it's a
Very
specific.
nice.
Look at that movement, though.
Yeah.
Specific subset of other guys.
Yeah.
And it's you know, we don't get to like we don't really get to wear diamonds and shit around, right. You know, but we got to have a trophy, so nice. It's okay.
Nice little
Check this out. You'll like this. My friend Cameron Weiss made this. This is a Weiss Watch Company watch, designed and manufactured exclusively in Los Angeles. Every bit of that watch is made in Los Angeles.
Wow.
He got me that for when I first met him, and he makes them by hand, every one of them.
Very pretty.
Super America. I like that shit.
America. Fuck yeah.
Oh my God. Can I tell you
yes.
that I just saw there is a Fast and the Furious musical parody that these dudes came up with, and they're doing it in this little theater here, the Dynasty Typewriter Theater, and it is like the Team America of Fast and the Furious, and it's the fucking funniest thing I've ever seen. I went twice.
Whoa.
And
what's it called?
It's just called the Fast and the Furious musical parody, but they have like women play a bunch, like Tyrese and like Ludacris are played by women. It's fucking great. Wow. It was written by these guys, Brad Silnutzer and Joey Orton. They came on my podcast, and this is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. And I don't know, you got me on a Team America tangent.
Dude.
So I went there.
What a great idea.
It's fucking hilarious, dude. It's so great. Anyway, are you still alive? Your second show of the day.
Yeah, I'm fine.
The solution is either less drugs or more drugs.
Well, marijuana takes everything to that weird hard left. You know, so it's like no matter what you were doing during your day before you smoked weed,
now you're doing this.
Once you smoke weed, you're like, whoa, what are we doing?
Should we talk about like some conspiracy theories or something? Epstein didn't kill himself.
I don't think he did.
Nope.
think he might not have.
Maybe this.
What are the odds that he did? If you had a bet.
If I was in Vegas.
If I wanted to give you odds, like, hey.
The odds he did.
Come on, Matt.
10%. 10% is where I've got it. I don't want to say it's like 0, but I think it's like 10%. I think it's low.
So would you plunk down $100 on 10-1 odds that he did kill himself?
No.
The opposite.
I would do the opposite.
Odds.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
You'd want more than 10-1 that he did kill himself.
No. I think there's only a 10% chance he killed himself.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm fucking with these numbers here. I'm making it confusing.
I don't know how however you're converting it to odds, it's falling apart.
I
in my
get
head.
it.
Sorry.
I get it. It doesn't seem
I'm gonna go
likely.
with no way though.
It doesn't seem likely.
No.
That's just crazy that you could still do that.
Did you see the Ford electric car?
Epstein suicide guards say they're scapegoats for a broken system.
Well, that's a defense. The defense is just we were incompetent, not we killed him.
Dude, who knows?
There is some fucking weird shit going on in our country right now.
Behind the scenes, man. What's going on behind the scenes? That somebody could sneak somebody in to kill somebody if that's what happened. What's going on?
Oh, that's an inside person. They don't just sneak somebody in. That person's already inside. The cameras are off, bro.
That's crazy.
Fuck.
The cameras were
The
off.
cameras were off.
Whoops, sorry.
Yeah. The cameras, come on. Bro, I have cameras at my house. They're never fucking off. Come on.
When the cameras are off too, I've heard repeated a few times, but not more recently, that there was screaming being heard from his cell. That someone heard screaming.
Yeah.
Like that's not stopped being repeated now. So I don't know what happened.
Dude.
Bro, we live in a fucking crazy world.
Yeah, that's dark.
I don't know. Hi. Here we go.
Hey, it's just that's probably the biggest public conspiracy theory that most people believe in.
Do you think most people believe it was a hit?
I would say most people.
I just read about one last night.
Is there a poll? Is there a Pew poll on that
Probably
one?
should
They
be.
tried to overthrow FDR in 1935, and this general was like the whistleblower for it because the people that were supposedly trying to do it were trying to get him to be like the face to talk people into doing it. And so he went and talked to Congress about it. His name's like Smedley Butler, I think.
Smedley Butler.
He was a double
great
Medal
name.
of Honor winner. And they called him out, and everyone said, oh, no, that's just a lie. It was a joke. There might have been some stuff being talked about in this meeting, but we were never going to do anything. And they said they had 500,000 soldiers that were going to march on D.C. to take over. And they had some general they were going to put in place as a dictator. There's a book written about it a couple years ago. And this guy, Smedley Butler, wrote a book in 1935 called like War is a Racket.
War is a Racket, yeah.
Wow.
Wow, so he knew about all that?
Yeah. I just read about this last night.
Jesus. How do you know? Where was the source?
The book that's called, I'll pull it up. It's called, like the conspiracy to overthrow the government. And then it's all about him. It's a really long book that just came out about like overthrowing FDR.
Wow.
Interesting.
I guess none of this shit is like new. I feel like I just turned 38 and I feel like I didn't really start paying attention to anything until, I was in like my mid 20s or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's been, Bush was a piece of shit. And then it kind of seemed on the surface like Obama was kind of normal, but like and now obviously we live in crazy town, but it, I feel like it's new and it's not new. And this kind of shit has just happened over and over and over again.
Well, it's the remnants of an ancient society. I mean, we're dealing with this ancient system that was created long before we had anything resembling our way of communicating that we have now. It's all set up, like when you have a government like ours, it's set up in this way. It's like, is this the ideal way to do it? Or is it just the way we've been doing it forever? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think our bureaucracy can move fast enough to keep up with the technology.
I think you're 100% right. I don't think culture
cause some
can
real
keep,
problems.
I don't think culture can keep up. I
don't
it's
think I'm
fascinating
designed
all of us.
to handle the kind of communication that I feel like I have to handle in terms of like, I have an Instagram page with like 225,000 people and it's like a lot less than you, but I think you do a better job of like detaching from it than I do.
Yeah.
Maybe you just keep yourself busier than I do.
Keeping busy is important, man.
It is. But I just feel like I'm not designed to handle interpersonal communication with that volume of people.
Yeah,
Who
it's a lot
just
of
feel that
people.
they can say what the fuck ever.
And they're trying to push your buttons
Yeah.
and fuck with you. It's
Yeah.
like,
That's kind of frustrating.
We're all learning to communicate with each other like this, and we're all learning to, to interact in real time with this new technology that no one saw coming. This new ability to communicate that just didn't exist before. It's weird for all of us. It's weird for the dummies like me, and it's weird for the really smart people that create all this technology. Because we're opening up this new realm of human communication.
I think by breaking it into tweets, it's got to be these short little thoughts and all that.
That's angry, man.
Yeah.
But just in terms of if you watch, look at our access to the news, our access to these stories that are going on in Hong Kong. You could specifically focus on it and try to follow it, and you could follow it pretty much all day long. All these protests and stuff like that. It's it doesn't matter if the networks are sanctioning it. People are paying attention to things like that. When things like that happen, they become these worldwide things that everybody is following along with. That was never the case before, man. You had to wait for the news. You had to wait for them to tell you what's going on in Germany.
That's true. Yeah. No, I think so.
It's weird now.
So do you think that we actually live in what is probably generally a much better place? We just hear so much more bad shit that we think it's worse?
Well, I think we're just aware of way more information than we're supposed to be aware of.
Yeah. Just overloaded all the time.
And I think that's one of the reasons why so many people are anxious. I think just our sheer numbers are wearing on the way we feel.
I actually have developed real anxiety just about fucking life, which I think it's directly related probably to my internet consumption. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. They accuse social media of doing that, of accentuating your interests. This is the reason why so many people get in fights on Facebook.
Oh yeah,
because
it amplifies the angry.
The more you get upset at things, the more you interact. So because of that, they send you things that make you upset. But isn't it that's what you gravitate towards? So Ari Shaffir actually did a test.
Yeah, he did with puppies or something, right?
And he just got all puppies.
Yeah,
he just started searching puppies, and guess what?
How long did it take for him to get all puppies?
It wasn't that long. It was pretty quick.
So it's not that it's malicious on its own. It's that we are
cunts.
Yeah,
we're cunts.
Yeah. It just it's like a mushroom trip, right? Where it just if you feel good, it spirals up, and if you feel bad, it spirals down. It's the same kind of thing.
And but we can manage it. I think we can manage it. I think we just have to be nicer to each other. I really do. I think people can manage it.
It's so easy to be nice in person, but it's so hard to be nice to some fucking, to someone who opens with what a piece of shit you are and is
it's a piss poor way of communicating.
It's terrible.
It's not. You can get great stuff from it, but it also opens up the door to great cuntiness. The greatest cuntiness, because it's free shots at people. And it's just weird to do. It's weird to just someone you don't even know just insult. Right? But they can do that to you, and they feel free to do that to you. And they don't think of you as another person. They think of you as some person who's in some public position. So it's a free shot to just shit on you. Yeah. And they think you should have thicker skin. They think this.
They don't realize that you get into a job like this because you're insecure and need validation
for sure.
Or whatever.
But it's also, listen, nobody saw this coming. We should all be nice about this new level of communication that we all have. You can see things on your phone that are coming to you from the air, and they're streaming in real time.
I can't imagine what it's like to be a child who can grow up with the amount of porn that.
Oh my God!
I don't want to go into this kind of a tangent too far, but Jesus Christ, what is going
When I was a kid, you had to work for it, right? There's always someone's stepdad who had a big collection, or
I had to do floppies. I mean, I was on the hard floppy disks.
Damn.
Yeah, that was the 90s kid.
90s,
but it was still a challenge. Now, way too easy.
It's weird, right?
Yeah,
there's definitely a concern. There's also not just a concern that you have access to porn. How about the fact that porn has completely shaped the way people do their pubic hair? Porn won.
Do you think porn reflects society, or society reflects porn?
I don't know, but if there was a culture contest to see how you trim your pubes, porn completely won out.
Definitely.
Right? You can't be a girl and just be chaos anymore, right? Can you do that? Is that a move?
You can. It's a specific fetish for that. You have to use Ari Shaffir is going to have to use different keywords to get to that.
They'll find Ari. They'll find him.
What really weirds me out about porn is they've really transitioned to an all-step siblings kind of
when did that
theming.
happen?
I don't know.
What happened?
Fucking, this is gross.
Weird. It's like when did everything get dirty? Everything's
is this the result of divorce culture?
Dude,
divorce
it's
culture.
something. It's something.
All the kids of divorces have grown up to watch stepbrother porn and whatever.
Stepbrother and stepsister is giant right now.
It's fucking gross. It's like 90% of titles,
It's
dude.
so weird. You're supposed to be my sister. I can't believe this. Like, what the fuck are we watching?
Oh, is there a more depressing job than writing that dialogue?
But why do people? Here's a question. Why do people want to be so naughty? Like, what is it? Because that's naughty.
Well, that's not new. People wanting to be naughty, that's not new.
Not new.
No.
But why do they always want to push it? You know, people keep pushing it. They want people gagging and choking and
dude, that's that risk shit, dude. It's the risk becomes the thing.
Yeah.
A friend of mine is like in the music business and like, you know, is like a recovering, you know, super junkie and had a theory that a lot of the celebrities who have died of autoerotic asphyxiation were former heroin users. And once they get sober, the only way to get close is by jacking off with a fucking belt around your neck.
Hey.
And that seems to be a common thread in that maybe those deaths weren't exactly suicides. So that there's maybe a conspiracy theory there.
Well, if you were going to kill somebody, that would be a good way to do it.
Well, I don't think they were murdered. I think they were labeled as suicides. They were talking about like Chris Cornell and Anthony Bourdain.
Really?
And, you know, it's a theory, I guess.
Well, I mean, I don't think that was the case with Bourdain, but
it seems the argument is that people who have had the high of heroin, the only way they can get close to that without drugs is by doing that.
That's a crazy suggestion.
It is a crazy suggestion.
I don't think that's the case, but
maybe not.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't think that's the case.
Maybe Epstein was trying to jerk off. I don't know.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Jamie's like, oh, I'm letting it go. I'm not even jumping in.
Open up a hole in his...
Yeah. I don't know how we got down the porn tangent. It's probably my fault, but what else you got, buddy?
Ending your ride's a weird idea, you know, deciding to end your ride.
Yeah, it's probably something where people like feel like they don't have control over their life and they want to take it, maybe?
I don't know, man. I think some people just feel bad.
They're just sad all the time and just want it to stop?
It just makes sense that if some people like are frail, in certain ways we just accept that. But if they're frail in their happiness, we don't. You know, like if someone's born with some sort of a disease and this disease affects them, we feel bad for them. Oh, shit. But if we're born... Is this a man-made?
Like if you're born sad?
Yeah. Does it make sense? I mean, that you could be born with like a shitty level of dopamine. Like your brain's not producing enough serotonin. Like something's, the wiring is not totally on.
Yeah. I've known my share of depressed and or bipolar and or borderline people. It's scary and sad.
It is. But we have a weird aversion. It goes back to our like primate days. You know, we want to get those people away from us.
I had a weird thing for a long time where I wanted to fix them. I was a real fixer for a while, and it's not a healthy place to be in.
That's a bad spot, son.
Fix
them up, guy.
No, there's a. If you want to be fix up guy, that comes from a whole list of your own fucking issues.
Don't
Trust
do
me.
that.
No.
Yeah, don't do that.
No, I got married to the most amazing woman ever. I'm very lucky. Hannah rules.
I saw you in your
Thank you.
Your social media.
It was my birthday the other day, like 2 nights ago. She got me Benihana lessons at Benihana. And then I went back later that day and I cooked at Benihana for like all my friends. It was like life goals achieved.
So they let you cook there?
Yeah.
They teach you how to cook and then they let you cook?
Yes.
Holy shit.
Onion volcano, the whole shit.
No.
Dude,
you
it's
made
a great
volcano?
gift. Yeah, it's on my Instagram. It's a great gift.
How long are the lessons?
Like an hour and a half. It's not hard.
Oh, so you must be a cook already.
I'm already a cook. Yeah.
Okay.
And not only am I a cook, I'm a huge hibachi enthusiast.
Oh, okay.
And so, yeah.
Oh, so you knew what the fuck to
onion
do.
volcano, bro.
So you've made one of them onion volcanoes before?
I practiced at my house because I was so excited.
That is hilarious. You are hilarious.
Look at this. Yeah, this girl behind me because I popped a huge flame and she thought I was gonna light my face on fire, and she was right. I almost did.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, fucking onion volcanoes, dude.
That's a great boomerang right there.
I know.
That's one of the rare, truly great boomerangs.
I think like one of the top comments on that post is, "This is the only good boomerang in the history." Look at this.
Really?
The lighter fails, so I almost light my face on fire when I get it to work.
Dude.
Yeah, no, look. Woo!
Oh, son. You almost lost some eyelashes.
I know.
Fuck that.
But, it's a really good birthday present. My wife rules. She got me axe throwing lessons one year. She got me blacksmithing lessons one year. She likes to get me fun lessons for things.
Who's the expert out there throwing axes? Is there one dude?
Fuck. What's the
who's
guy's
like the
name?
Michael Jordan of axe
Yes.
throwing?
No, there is. Oh, shit. Oh, they're going to kill me for... No, he has a hilarious name in a DVD series and shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I want to say it's like Lester Diamond, but that's the guy from Casino. It's something like that. If you Google knife throwing lessons LA, you might come up with it. But
That's hilarious.
Now they've opened like knife and axe throwing bars now.
Really?
This was 2 years ago, but now you can like go, like it's like a bowling alley, but you throw axes.
Oh my God.
Ranked axe throwers in the world.
I don't want to be around a lot of dudes who want to throw axes. You know, you go into the axe throwing spot. That's like some Viking shit.
It's just darts, right?
Yo,
But with
axes, yeah. Yo, there's a hilarious video from yesterday of Pete Buttigieg on the campaign trail trying to do an axe throw, like outdoor, and he straight overthrows the axe, misses the target entirely, and hits the dude's drum in the marching band.
Oh my God! Yo, he almost killed somebody. Imagine if he brained somebody like a Stephen King book.
First,
could you imagine?
First presidential candidate to murder somebody with an axe.
Can you imagine if he hit the dude in the head with an axe and the dude just stiffened?
Yeah, if Trump did it, his supporters would probably like him more. He could really test that shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue theory. The video of the axe missing and hitting the guy's drum is crazy fucking funny.
I've been on this audio book Native American kick. I listened to two different ones, and the one I'm listening to now is
like history?
Son of the Morning Star. And my friend Steve Ranella recommended it to me. Holy shit, dude. Just like I get nervous when I watch Alex Connell.
Oh, there, look, wait, here's the
axe. This guy from Fox News. It's not Pete Buttigieg.
It's not?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Oh my God, it hit the guy.
I apologize, Mayor
Seth.
Pete. Oh, shit. Fox News goes Pete Hesketh. I apologize, Pete Buttigieg. My bad. But
a Fox News host threw a fucking axe and hit somebody. Oh my God.
Yo, go with the...
Oh my
Watch
God.
this shit.
Oh my God, he missed so bad. Why? First of all, why the fuck is there a band playing behind the spot where the guy throws an axe? Whose idea was that?
Oh, dude.
So
watch, look at it. Here's the other angle.
Oh, my
Boom.
God.
It goes in the drum.
Dude, it could have killed
It hit
him.
him. It hit his arm.
Oh my God, it could have killed him.
Oh, damn. I'm
that
sorry,
hit his
Pete
arm.
Buttigieg. That was Pete Hesketh. My bad.
Oh, sorry.
I didn't talk to him.
It's a
real
different
quick.
Pete.
Jesus.
But that's fucking horrible.
You do it with some famous Pete.
I'm sorry. I watched
Fuck,
on my
man.
phone this morning and
so
just
it's
saw
a Fox
Pete.
News guy. Imagine it was just a news guy who killed somebody accidentally with an axe.
And not a presidential candidate.
Oh, just a news guy. Poor guy. He just sucks at throwing an axe.
Bro.
Who set this up?
Put a band behind the
my
fucking
God.
target?
How trusting are you?
How many practice shots do you think he took?
None.
0.
That's probably the first time he
You're
threw
in
an
New York
axe.
too. Like, how many people get to throw an axe in
You're
downtown
in
New York, Manhattan?
Fucking
Like-
New York. You kill a guy with an axe in New York.
You think the DP was like, can you bring the band around? They're not in the shot. Let's get that band.
Fuck, man. Jesus Christ.
That's fucking bad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mayor Pete. I thought it was you.
The reason why I brought this up is this book is horrific. It's all these accounts of what happened between the settlers and the Native Americans.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
It wasn't good. I listened to that podcast, The Dollop, which is like a history podcast. Fucking the people that came to this country were so horrible to the people that were here. It's so depressing.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. It was horrible with disease. It was horrible with just the amount of people that just came across the land. They killed all the buffalo. They wiped literally every Native American tribe out of power, and they put them on reservations and violated
their
reservation
treaties. Was Kansas, right? It just kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
But dude, there's a lot to it. It's amazing. The stories of the different tribes are just amazing. The differences between the ones who lived in the East versus like the Comanches, who were mostly just traveling and living in teepees and following the buffalo.
The ones in the East were more like permanently settled in kind of one place, right?
Yeah, a lot of them, were into agriculture. They were growing. They didn't even really have use for horses. They weren't into horses.
Didn't white people steal their farming techniques too? I think
probably, for sure. White people stole everything.
I'm reading a book called, I think it's called History of the Greater United States. It's by, I think that's correct, but it's about all of like the U.S. territories that are like outside of the continental United States, and just like ways we fucked over native people, and we, they're part of America, but they're not states, so they don't get to vote, they don't get to do anything. It's just like we've used these islands and countries and stuff strategically all over the world, and it's a slog through it, but it's kind of the kind of stuff you kind of gotta read, right?
Well, you should probably know. Like, what are we doing? We're doing what?
I feel like I went to a very good schools. I went to like a good college and a good high school, and like I did not learn a lot of really important things. I learned a very winner-take-all version of history that I'm not pleased about.
I missed out on everything. I wasn't paying attention to shit until I was like 28.
Yeah, but now you pay attention to everything.
Yeah, but before then, I mean, all throughout high school, the time that I did spend going to college was only so that no one would think I was a loser. I was just.
Was it that binary? If you're not in college, you're a loser, and if you're in college, you're not a loser.
It was a huge insecurity with me because I knew I didn't want to do it, and I knew like whatever that led to. Like I'm not interested. I don't have the discipline to sit in class and listen. I was too spastic. I wasn't interested in what they were
teaching. It's so crazy that you can't sit in class and listen, and yet you can do a double-header 3-hour podcast.
That's not hard. We're talking about cool shit. You're a cool guy. You're fun to talk to. It's not hard.
It's the way the material is delivered, huh?
And the last one was, what you'll see, but it's way more these two guys talking than me.
Oh.
I mostly moderated and mostly wound up agreeing with the guy who made the Game Changers documentary. Mostly with what he was saying in terms of science, in terms of whether or not it's healthy to eat 100% vegan diet. According to everything he's showing me, it is.
It is?
Yeah, according to everything he was showing me, and he had as much science as you could.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of doing it properly.
Mm-hmm. After listening to Kevin Smith on your show, I've considered trying to do like a vegan month or a vegan week or something. I haven't gone through with it yet, but I'm probably gonna.
I think it's different for different people too. I really do. I think some people have real issues with it. Some people have gotten off the vegan diet and they've quit, and I
just feel like I should eat a little less meat. Really?
Well, I mean, I think it's different for everybody too, man. I think some people can do it with no problems, and I think other people struggle more. And I don't know why. I'm not a nutritionist, but I know that a lot of people that wind up trying it out eventually give up. It's like 84%.
I know a couple ex-vegans. Yeah. But I don't have like a moral judgment for it or anything. I just feel like maybe it's something worth trying because I eat a lot of meat.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to I wrote a business plan for my new place, as you do when you have a new business. And the first thing on the business plan is by my 40th birthday, I want to be the healthiest I've ever been.
Well, I don't think cutting meat out is the move. See, this is what I think about all this. Like, I think you can definitely be healthy and be a vegan. According to everything this guy was showing me, everything James Wilkes was showing me.
I don't really want to be a vegan, but I like meat.
I
have no moral qualms with it, and I like how it tastes. I don't want to be a vegan, but I thought maybe if I did it a little bit, I could at least try.
Health-wise,
it makes a difference?
No, I think the real thing to do is omnivorous diets, and I think this is one of the things that we proved today in this conversation between Chris Kresser and James Wilkes, is that the omnivorous diet is like a natural healthy thing. You can do a vegan diet though. You can do it right. According to everything he was showing me today, and I believe this too, if you're just doing it correctly, if you monitor your nutrient levels, you take, vitamin B12 supplement, which is something he advocates. I was like, that makes sense to me. But I don't believe that means bad for you. I think that sedentary lifestyle, shitty foods.
Yeah,
People have been eating meat since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
This is how we became people.
Yeah.
And literally one of the primary theories for why the human brain got so big so quick was that they started hunting. We had more access to protein because we were cooking things with fire. And we learned how to hunt better because our brains kept growing as we're just figuring out the throwing arm they think is a possible factor. Like somehow or another, the ability to throw something at something and kill it like made us much more productive as hunters.
We can kill from farther away. That's key.
Because we're so weak.
Oh, compared to like animals?
Anything, yes.
Yeah. An animal would fuck us up. So any even a small-ish animal would fuck us up so bad.
A deer will kick your fucking ass, man. A deer just kicking at you. Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. We need some help. We need some weapons.
I wonder what we were like though. I mean, imagine going back and seeing what a person was like when we started becoming people. How fucking freaky would that be? Like, see, I
feel like we'd be like scared of everything.
Oh my god,
just real scared.
But like, what would it be like to just hang out in a tribe of Neanderthals and see what they were like a different kind of person?
Yeah, I wonder if it would be, I mean, like mentally freeing. You know what I mean? You're singularly focused on food and shelter and not, I don't know if you have you don't have a lot of like the fucking worries that we have, but so it could be awful simple. But at the same time, the constant fear of starving and freezing to death, that would be shit.
All of it's bad. Everything's bad.
Don't worry, we're gonna get there, dude. We're gonna end up in Waterworld pretty fucking soon.
Dude, don't say it.
What future movie from the last 30 years do you think our current reality is the closest to?
The Matrix.
Really? The Matrix? Because you were living in a simulation, you think?
It's gotten so weird that it doesn't matter whether or not we're living in a simulation. Because life itself and reality itself is almost all augmented with some new factors.
Like technology, whatever the technology is that we're using to communicate with all these people.
Yeah, the fact that you
can't
algorithms. Stop checking your Twitter. I want to check.
Yeah.
Somebody say something cool.
Yeah.
What's new? Who's got a fucking new video I can watch to distract me for 15 seconds?
I know.
Ooh, Bert and Tom are in a dance off.
Yeah.
Look at this. And you're just constantly looking at the goddamn thing.
Yeah. I'm not doing well at it, but I gotta fucking get my phone out of my fucking hand. That, what's a good guilt shamer is? That little status thing that's like, oh, you've been on your phone for 5 hours and change.
You know what they're like? Those are like the cigarette warnings to tell you you're going to get cancer. You're like, somebody else is going to get cancer. Not me. I'm not addicted to my phone.
I know. I am. I feel like I am. And I justify it to myself sometimes by saying, well, I have a virtual job and I have to be doing this for work. But like, I think that's not true a lot of the time.
I think it's not true a lot of the time. I think it's good to definitely give yourself some distance and some time away from it. But I also think it's fascinating because we don't know where this is going.
Yeah.
We don't know what this is going to be like in X amount of years from now.
It's dangerous that these companies have so much control over the information that you see, and that your news feed and someone's news feed on the other side of the country or whatever could be just so much different.
Yeah.
You're literally looking at different facts. It's fucking crazy.
It is crazy. It's very crazy.
I don't even know how do you reconcile that unless like people voluntarily take responsibility? Is it possible to decide that Facebook and Twitter and whatever are like public utilities?
Well, that's what people have proposed, that we treat it like anything that that everybody kind of should have access to, and we protect it under the First Amendment.
Yeah,
that's the idea. I think that.
What's the net neutrality status right now? I know it was like getting fought back and forth. Did it end up anywhere?
I don't know. Do you remember when they used to have a terrorist, like a color?
Yeah, orange.
Like code orange.
Yeah,
and we'd be all walking around like, what are we in code orange or yellow? Did it get to yellow?
Yeah, somebody had a bit about that. Was it you?
I'm sure I did.
I remember bits of someone's bit about the code.
I don't think I ever put it on anything.
I don't know. I just had it
when we had one. I think there was a few comics that had a bit on that too. That might have been part of the issue. It was one of those things where everybody was like recognizing how ridiculous it was.
Yeah,
it was. We had codes.
We have the fire code now here. How
the fuck can you give me a code of terrorist attack or no terrorist attack? Like,
What are you
getting me
supposed to do
closer?
about it, actually,
Yeah, you're
you
getting
know?
me closer to a possible terrorist attack? Okay. And you don't even have to tell me what's going on. That's where it gets crazy.
When it goes from orange to red, what do I do exactly?
What do you do? They don't
You
even
can
have
come to
tell
West Side
you
Collector
what's going
Car
on.
Storage. It's like a bunker.
Oh, it's
under
like
there.
a bunker. It's designed to survive
Concrete
at 12.
tomb.
Yeah, that's a good place. It's a good place to hide out in case it all goes down.
For sure.
I could see us bolting that store down and fucking fighting off zombies. Do you ever watch those zombie shows?
I am familiar.
I had to stop. Like, you
you
guys
up.
this is just violent porn.
Right.
It was weird.
And then you start shopping for zombie apocalypse vehicles. Is that how you ended up with that Land Cruiser out there?
Yeah.
Zombie apocalypse
You
vehicles.
start thinking, how would I fuck this zombie
Mm-hmm.
up? What would I do if I was Rick?
You know what? I live down by the beach, and so for me, I legit am like, what am I going to do when the tsunami comes?
Oh, that's a
I'm just
thought.
waiting
Dude,
for
get
the
out of there.
tsunami.
What are you doing? Don't you know better? Get the fuck
looking-
off the water, man.
Yeah, right?
Come on. You're
I know.
a nice guy. I don't want to lose you.
I don't. I'm actually waiting for like waves to just come straight through my
Beachfront
fucking house.
Pasadena, son. Get that high rise.
Yeah,
Buy
Is it-
some land
Oh,
up
your
yonder.
shit's not front row. Just wait. Just wait.
Yeah, that's
No.
what the fuck happens then if your address doesn't exist anymore?
Right.
Like we all know that they find these ancient civilizations underneath
Atlantis.
the ocean. I mean, but they do find. I mean, they don't find that. You know, they've never found Atlantis, but they've found some pretty cool shit
Yeah.
out of the ocean.
Yeah.
Do you ever see those things they found? I think in the Bahamas. It's like these stones that looks like a passageway, like cut stones.
Cut into the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These gigantic stones looks like some sort of an underground passage or an underwater passageway.
It seems like I remember that. I think at one point there were like probably entrances made of wood or something that have rotted away. And then,
there it is.
Yeah. Underground stones. Yeah.
I don't know. No, did they identify that those? Did they think those are man-made? Do they think that they're man-made, or are there scientists that think that that's a natural?
Isn't there?
thing?
There's a portion of that is absolutely
That's it.
man-made.
It's called
I think.
Bimini Road, right?
Yeah.
Bimini Road.
Yeah.
So is that for sure man-made?
I could swear portions of it are. That's
What do you
cool as
think?
fuck, though.
This, I don't know. This is just reminding me of something I just heard recently that it's never come up on here from what I remember, that there's like a Stonehenge type structure on the bottom of Lake Michigan that people found recently.
Really?
What?
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Fuck. What the fuck? I think
Joe's
somebody-
conspiracy radar just went off the fucking
These are the
charts.
kind of ones I like too. I don't like conspiracies about Epstein.
the
'cause they're
Lake
freaked
Michigan
out.
Stonehenge. Look at that.
People are still alive.
That's pretty.
There's a lot of weird pictures I've seen of this trying to look it up. They think that there's like a mastodon carving. I don't think that's the actual one.
Whoa.
I think someone added to this, but
That looks like it was done in spray paint in
I
2018.
think it's more like this
That doesn't
one.
look like a fucking
I think
cave
it's
drawing.
that.
Oh, it's that.
But I just stumbled across this online while we were on break last week, and I was like, "What? I've never heard of this."
I need to
Started
start
looking
using
and-
some of your guys' keywords to start searching for shit. I feel like my keywords are narrow when I'm doing my internet fucking time wasting, and I'm not getting the kind of results you guys are getting.
This book that I've been listening to is so intense, man.
The Indian one?
All it makes me think about is like how all this shit must have been when it went down.
Just the bloodiness of it.
Oh my God, it's horrific on both sides. Oh, horrific, just terrifying stories of massacres.
Who recorded the stories?
People that survived, people that wrote letters to their loved ones. That they piece things together, find out what happened.
Crazy.
They get their best story, the best story they can get about like Custer's last stand and what he was like. And whoo, dude, just real. That's 150, 160 years ago.
Yeah.
That's nothing,
I
man.
know.
That just happened.
I know. It's real recent.
Those fucking people were just like us,
I
but
know.
we have iPhones.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
yeah.
those crazy people.
I
that
think
would-
I might have told you this last time I was here. I don't remember that I met Dick Van Dyke.
Holy shit.
Which was surreal and weird. I think he's 92.
Wow.
But the most surreal and weird thing he told me was that his grandmother shook Abraham Lincoln's hand.
Oh my God.
So like that's, you know what I mean? The grandmother
tell
of
me that.
somebody alive right now. I did tell you that, I think.
Yeah,
right?
it's fucking amazing.
I think it just
fucking
happened when I was here
amazing,
last.
dude.
Like-
That's possible.
And I think there's a president like the 8th or 10th president or something right now that has like a living grandchild.
What the fuck?
Yeah, like had kids at 75, It's fucking crazy. That's not that long ago. That's people just like us with none of the information that we have.
It's so recent.
Yeah.
You know,
there he goes. Lion Gardner Tyler Sr., 2 of his own children still alive. So President Tyler has living grandchildren. John Tyler, 175 years ago.
Jesus Christ.
That's fucking nuts,
It's like I had a bit on my special, my last special, where I was talking about that the United States was founded in 1776 and people lived to be 100. That's 3 people ago.
Yeah.
Like, we don't want to think of that.
Yeah.
But that's really what it is.
Yeah.
Fuck all this generations talk. That's confusing.
Yeah.
How many people ago? Like, birth to death. Tell me how.
It's not a lot. They're
Fucking
the
3
same
people.
as us. Same as us.
300 years.
No tech.
Yeah. If you're going to gauge it like a car, what's your 0 to 60?
And
it's 100 years.
From 100
3
years
people.
ago? Yeah. It's like
3 people ago.
It's fucking crazy.
With that's like a full Elon Musk tank. Right? Because, like, if you burn it out, you're not going to live to be 100.
Yeah.
But some people do get to be 100. So
There's
you got
still
100 miles on that fucking charge.
There's cars around now that were built 100 years ago.
Yes.
And they work. You can drive them.
Yeah.
A friend of mine has many. They're kind of fun, actually.
Dude, that's a weird concept, right?
Yeah. The going from the horse to where we're at now in 100 years is bananas.
In no time.
Yeah. Which is why, like, you know, I believe like that, like, electric cars are awesome and they're cool, and I think that in places like really dense urban areas where you have a significant number of them, you get cleaner air and all that kind of stuff. But I just don't know if that's necessarily what our future requires, because I think that, like, the big industries have sort of done this. Well, if everybody does our little part and we all buy an electric car and recycle, we can solve this. When it's really sort of like maybe a few less cargo ships would be a big difference. Maybe, like, guaranteeing stuff gets from China to you in 12 hours is not really what we need at the expense of our environment. And if that's I don't think you need to, like, you know, have everybody needs to go buy an electric car. I don't think that's really necessary.
Well, there's a lot of shit that needs to be done, right?
Yeah.
Like, we gotta, whatever the fuck is going on in the ocean.
Yeah.
We gotta get people to feel about the whole ocean the way we feel about turtles and straws. If we could just get that sentiment and apply it to our neighbors, apply it to everyone you meet.
It's weird. I think Americans have a really tough time taking care of communal shit.
Yeah, but I can't find a fucking plastic straw anymore.
I know.
It's amazing.
I know.
How quickly that happened.
We saw that
turtle, the dude with the pliers, and he's pulling it out of the turtle's nose, and eventually it comes out with all this blood and everything like that.
You need an ugly photograph of a cute animal to really make things happen. But I literally walked to the gym this morning, and from my house to the gym, I walk across the Venice canals, and I saw 2 bird scooters just in the canals. So it's like, you know, people just can't take care of their shit. That's why you can't have, like, shared stuff.
No.
Like, the idea of these, like, shared kind of, like, pods, I don't really think is going to happen. I think people...
Shared pods, like you live in them?
Yeah, like, you know, a lot of the people that are...
we're low on resources.
Like Minority Report, you know, where you commute to work in a pod.
Oh, you don't think that's going to have, like... flying through the air and shit?
The Taycan makes the Jetsons noise.
No, it doesn't.
When you drive it, it makes the
Really?
Yeah, it does make Jetsons
Does it do it for you? Like it's a joke? Or does it make real noise?
No, it does it out of the speakers as a fun thing.
I feel like you can let it slide. You know why? Because it's not pretending to be an engine.
No.
Right?
It's not. It makes an appropriate noise for the thing that it's doing.
It's kind of offensive if it made an engine noise. You'd be like, hey, stop.
Although I think, did Tesla come out with the thing that would fake engine soundtracks while you're driving?
Really? Maybe it does.
Somebody came up with something that you can put in your car and it will play different engine soundtracks, I think, while you're driving.
Dude, Tiffany Haddish made her fucking car dance.
In what way?
The Tesla has a feature
Oh, where it like
Model
opens the
X.
does and shit and does lights and stuff.
She's got the one with the gull wings.
Yeah.
She plays music in the back of the comedy store and hits the dance thing and steps out and she's dancing in front of her car. We're all dancing. We're dancing in front of Tiffany Haddish's car. She's dancing for us.
That's the difference between Porsche and Tesla is like Tesla's. It's like a meme machine. It's like a phone that you're driving. You know, it's fun and it's silly and especially the Model X is a very optimistic representation of the future. What is that? Oh, pedestrian noisemakers. Yeah.
What is that?
So that's a different thing, I think. The Taycan doesn't really make any noise on the outside. It makes the noises on the inside.
If we're going to have noise that it makes on the outside, we better regulate that immediately. Because some dudes are just going to have screams. They're just like, if you can just decide what noise your silent thing makes, how the fuck should you say that it has to sound like a Corvette?
I had a Chevy Volt that had 2 horns. It had on the steering wheel the angry horn, and then at the end of the blinker stalk, it had this really polite like trill for like pedestrian. For that, it would go brrr, like a cat purring almost. It was very polite.
It's just weird that we let people drive. It's weird that we trust each other. Like when you're on the highway and everybody's keeping it together, it's weird that we just all know to keep it together.
There's a really interesting fallacy that gets passed around a lot, which is that humans are bad drivers. And that's combined with another fallacy that driving is easy. Both of those are untrue. Humans are actually very good drivers, and driving is very hard.
Yes.
And the problem is that humans are so easily distracted, and we now have this device that is designed to distract us, that's with us all the time.
Dude, how often you look up when you're driving, you see someone on their phone?
Oh, on my scooter. When I'm riding my motorcycle around town, that's all I do is I'm looking in mirrors and seeing who's not paying attention. But
Ed Norton still rides a motorcycle.
I know. I was listening to him talk about that. Yeah.
He's talking about looking down, watching people. How crazy is that guy?
The key to riding a motorcycle in LA is to understand that it is your job to be more prepared than everyone in a car.
I think
and pay more attention.
Mostly he rides in New York City, though.
Yeah, he was a little more. He wasn't as kind to riding in LA as I am. I think riding in LA is not that scary, and I think that because you can lane split here, it makes a big difference. It's way safer to lane split.
Yeah?
Yeah, way safer because most car on motorcycle collisions are actually rear endings at lights. People can't tell the difference between the bike and the car, and they crunch them. And so if you're lane splitting, you move to the front of the line in traffic, and so you don't get those rear endings.
The problem with lane splitting is that sometimes people look like they're going to go and change lanes, and they look behind them. And then when they look, the motorcycle's going so fast, they're already there.
Well, you shouldn't be going that fast on the bike.
Shouldn't be going that fast. I've seen some guys that are doing some crazy shit on bikes, splitting lanes. It's like, come on,
The
boys.
law says 15 differential, 15 between cars, between your speed on the bike and cars.
Oh, well, that's not real.
I mean, that's just what the law says. I don't know. Yeah,
but
there's people who do like
70.
Them. Yeah,
I saw some dudes the other day on the 405 that made me so nervous.
Crazy sport bike people.
Come on, man.
Yeah, crazy sport bike people will be crazy sport bike people.
But that thing, if you can manage that thing, one of those fucking things, your reality is so different than anybody else's. Right? If
Have you ridden bikes ever?
No.
Never.
I mean, very little. Very little. I took some lessons. But 2 people I know crashed and got hurt pretty bad. And one of them was a dude who was fighting for the UFC. His name was Frank Mir. He was a UFC heavyweight champion. Dude who's got one of the best guards in the history of the sport, arguably one of the best submission fighters of all time in the heavyweight division. You know, world champion.
Still fighting, or after the accident? No.
He is, but he got hit by a car and got launched into the air, man. And he almost lost his leg. Like, it was a serious break, man.
Yeah. Well, if his leg got crunched in between car and motorcycle engine, that's really bad.
And dude, he's a gorilla. He's a giant dude.
No,
and
it's for him. It's gnarly, man. Motorcycling is risky. For me, it's a pretty calculated risk. I'm riding a little scooter. When you ride a scooter versus a motorcycle, you don't get that leg crunch thing, actually. And it is what it is. You just gotta have eyes up. You gotta be ready, and you gotta be, you can't like have a beer and ride home. You can feel it. You can't do it. I mean, you shouldn't, but even if you legally, or you still shouldn't do it. And so and also, like, I love that I can't pick up the fucking phone on that bike. That half hour on my little scooter, getting my way through traffic to wherever I'm going, that's a nice break from the fucking phone. And being able to just be in motion in LA and, you know, and you're just going, even if you're going slow, 10 miles an hour, everyone around you stopped and you're moving. That's the fucking luxury, man. That's what I'm about. I'm about being moving when other people are stopped. That's for me. That's what's up.
Might be time to move. Might be time like you have to hire a crew.
I know.
Take care of your machine with all the giant building with all the cars in it, and just get out of here before it blows up.
It's hard. It's a hard dichotomy. LA, if you want to do the job I have, LA is kind of where you need to be.
It's the spot, right?
Bro, I can get a press car. I can get an 800 horsepower supercar press car in January if I wanted. You can't do that in
Who
back
drives
in New
more
York.
cars than you?
I've reviewed over 1,000 cars.
That is so crazy.
It's a lot.
Well, that's why you developed all these oddball tastes. That's why you have that wacky Porsche interior. I mean, that's where all that comes from. It
I have
completely
the
makes
weirdest
sense.
cars, dude. I
completely
only
makes
have
sense.
strange stuff. I have I
That
just
Fox
I just
body
got
Mustang.
I sold that.
You did?
I did. I got a lot of money for it. I gave
bet you
half the
did.
money to charity.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
Look at
we
you,
paid
sweetie.
we paid an animal shelter's rent for a year.
Oh, that's
Shout
cool.
out to Peter Zippy Fund if you want a kitten in the South Bay. I just got me and my wife just got a 1991 Mitsubishi Delica, which is a Japanese import van.
Oh, shit.
And it's a turbo diesel. It's a 4x4, and it's a 6-passenger. It has like swiveling captain's chairs, and it's just the coolest thing ever. There it is.
Wow, look at that.
Look at that. And it's like a space van.
Dude, back in the day, that was the shit.
Yeah.
You
It's
had one
got
of those?
40,000 kilometers on it. It's like 22,000 miles. And I'm using it as the airport shuttle for my shop.
That's very, that's what we thought of as a car from the future in the 80s.
Yes. Space van.
Like if you were living in the 80s. You remember I want to know what the fuck happened to custom vans. Like
Oh, they
in
didn't. Well,
the
now,
70s,
well,
it was
now
the
custom
shit,
vans
right?
are a new thing. So now custom vans have gone two directions. In the one direction, you've got the private jet vans, right? The Lexani, like you see fucking Tyrese rolling around in, right? Where they make it kind of look like a private jet interior with the Sprinters. And then you've got your overland vans, like your sports mobiles and your camping type rigs, your off-roading rigs. So they split. They don't do the cool shag carpet, let's fuck anymore kind of van. They
What
don't have
happened
those
with that?
There's a magazine called Rolling Heavy Magazine that is an enthusiast magazine for that kind of van.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Vans are still, they're cool with a certain subculture. Those Volkswagen Synchros, the 4x4 Volkswagen vans from the 80s are worth a ton of money. Like
Are they really?
50 grand. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, they're worth a lot of money.
Dude, it's hilarious when they take those bugs, what is the station wagon, the VW bus?
Yeah.
And they put Porsche engines in them.
Oh, you ever seen them guys
Juice
racing?
them up. Yeah.
They take the old vans from the 60s and 70s, the classic Volkswagen microbus.
Yeah.
And then they basically graft on a Porsche floor plan to it with a Porsche engine, which will fit, Porsche suspension, and they go fast as fuck, dude. They race some things in Germany.
Can you pull up anything of?
There you go.
I want to see one of those things.
At Hockenheim. Look, this dude's just
Oh
straight.
my
Look, this guy's
God.
following a Ferrari down the front straight.
Oh my god!
This guy's mobbing, and he chopped the roof. Right, he's lowered it. If you can get some in-car video of one of these guys driving, it's like bananas.
What a crazy little vehicle.
Yeah, there's other ones that are even nuttier. And there you go, it's close-ups. They're just crazy. Some of these Volkswagen guys are, oh wow, he's really using the whole course there. Good for him. So that's a 530 horsepower Porsche 993 race taxi. Oh, how cool. He's got Gabriel Iglesias. Is Fluffy a
Damn.
fucking van enthusiast?
Jesus Christ, Fluffy.
Bro.
What are you doing, Fluffy?
Whoa, Fluffy's garage is fucking sick, dude. The Fluffy Museum. This is real? Fuck.
Fluffy
See that?
Museum.
I just stumbled across it.
In Long Beach. This is here? How have we never heard of this?
Bro.
This is a real thing?
This is a real thing. Look at
Wow. He must have really loved these things growing up. That's hysterical.
this. That is crazy. How many does he have?
A lot. Well, that orange and red is
Bro,
fantastic.
those are beautiful.
That's really nice.
I had no idea Fluffy was a VW bus enthusiast.
Oh, we've got to get him in one of
How
these
strange
fast
is
ones.
that?
People that are into those are really, really into those. Seinfeld's
look-
got a few of them too.
Look how many he has.
$3 million bus collection. Wow.
That is bananas.
Yeah. And, you know, they sell those, like if you want like the 21 window, they call it, or the 23 window, that's where it's got the extra windows on the roof. The total number of windows is normally is like 17 or whatever, but the 21 windows and the 23 windows are like $100,000 to $150,000.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Just because they're rare and
Dude, look
nostalgic.
how beautiful he has these things restored.
Yeah. You ever drive one?
God, no.
The worst. They drive like shit. They drive like fucking garbage.
So do you think he has everything stock, or do you think he has them juiced up?
I don't know. I mean, an enthusiast. I didn't realize he was such a he was so serious about those. But I'm sure he's got
crazy.
A nice variety of them.
He's got Jay driving.
Jay knows his shit, man. I had a real fun day hanging out with Jay doing his show. He knows his shit.
Yeah,
He's a good dude.
I did his show with my 1965 Corvette.
How's that thing working? I saw it outside.
Great, man.
I like the wheels you've got on it.
Great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What are you driving the most these days? Just the Tesla?
Yeah.
The Tesla does kind of eliminate a lot of other driving, doesn't it?
A lot of other nonsense. Like, why am I fucking around here?
I know. Because it's so easy. I know.
It chills you out.
I know.
It makes you, I mean, there's something exciting about the roar of an engine, right? There's something about engines. There's something really like something about it. But there's also something about this sort of zen travel thing that goes on when your car doesn't make any noise.
Yeah.
There's a zen thing.
Yeah.
And I think it calms you down a little bit.
It does. You're a little more relaxed when you get to where you're going.
And they're quiet inside.
And also, part of that is, a lot of that is just, you don't really realize how harsh the vibration of an engine is until it's gone.
Right.
You know, and even a very smooth engine with a very smooth gearbox sends a lot of vibrations and jerkiness through the car. And when it's gone, especially with the Tesla where you're driving with the 1 foot, we're driving with 1 pedal. Mm-hmm. So now it's like you go from, wow, I need to use 3 pedals and 2 feet and an arm to a finger and 1 foot. You know, you're physically doing a lot less. But you used to say that you liked your Porsche to go to the Comedy Store because it like juiced you up. Yeah. You still feel like that?
Yeah, I like something loud, something that's just stupid.
Yeah. You got to get in the zone.
Yeah, but it just gives you like a little bit of just like a kickstart.
Yeah.
You don't even have to drive fast. It's not about that. It's about what it can do. It's like you're taking it out for this, like it just moves better. It moves around corners better. It grips the road better. It feels more mechanical.
Yeah. My 911's kind of like that, but it's actually got the elements of like a Baja truck also. So you could just fucking smash speed bumps.
Oh, really?
And like, you know those weird transitions into driveways here that everybody hates in sports cars? You got to take them on an angle and all that.
Yeah.
Boom. Straight in, on the power, just kind of bounce it a little bit. You could drive off of curbs and shit. It is so fun. It's all those things you love about your car, but also the things you want in like a trophy truck.
Jesus Christ.
It rules.
Wow.
So great.
You should be a salesman.
I am. No, I don't get kickbacks, but everybody should buy an off-road Porsche. It's fucking great.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Of all the recommendations, there's a lot of people out there
Good consumer
suggest
advice.
you stay in school and get your shit together. Jordan Peterson says to clean your room.
Dude, you don't want to come for me for good consumer
Get
advice.
a Safari Porsche.
I'll tell you to buy some stupid shit. I only have stupid cars.
I love the fact that you dumped so much money into that Mustang, because like that's the no disrespect to anybody.
That's okay. It's true.
What I feel is the second ugliest version. It was kind of unique at the time.
Yeah,
it wasn't ugly in the
You
at
and
the
Rutledge
time.
spent mad time talking shit about my Mustang.
It was. It's just an odd choice because you're a connoisseur of automobiles, right? Like in my mind, I'm like, why wouldn't he get like a '68 Mustang?
I don't have a connection to those cars.
Really?
You know, yeah, I was born in '81, so to me the Mustangs of my youth were that was my car. Larry Chen shot that photo.
That does look pretty dope.
The car was beautiful, man. That was a beautiful car, and I did dump a lot of money into it. But I got on the cover of CarCraft magazine. I had a feature in Speed Hunters, and I got all my money back out of it, even after I gave half the money to charity. So I got out of it pretty good.
It's fantastic, and you deserved every penny.
Penny of it. It drove really nice too.
Look at the suspension, like the way it sits. Rather, the ride, the fat wide tires,
got the right stance.
Those are awesome wheels too. What are those wheels?
The wheels are HRE RS 105s, which is a really popular wheel for the Ford GT they use. So That's probably the cheapest car they've ever been on. The
Can I
wheels
get
are
a
like
side?
12K.
Is there a side picture of that?
The wheels retail for like 12K. They're really expensive.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
so pretty.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure if Joe Rogan wanted a deal, we could probably get something worked out with HRE, but
That's so
that car
pretty.
was so cool. But, you know, after it was done, like that picture you just saw is it done, basically. And once it was done, I was like, oh, fuck, man. You know, this thing handles so good and it looks so cool. It could really use like 300 more horsepower. Like it was like 300 horsepower, 350 horsepower, and it really needed to be like 600. And so I was at the point where I either was going to spend 2 more years and $20,000 more, and maybe I'd be happy with what I got at the end, or it was just time to move on. And at about the same time, I drove. Lee Keen is the name of the dude who built my Porsche, and he builds and sells those. Mine is number 14 of the cars he builds. I drove his for a video, and I just was so in love with it, and I just said, oh, this is exactly the thing that I need in my life right now. And so when I sold the Mustang, I gave the money to Lee Keen and got a lifted 911.
I love the fact that you took that as your daily driver.
Yeah, well,
that's what I love.
In combination with the scooter and the test cars I have.
But that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Your number one squeeze is this
buddy.
Safari 911 from 1987.
I didn't spend all that money to look at it. You know?
Yeah, right?
It's, if I spent all that money, it has no collector value, right? It's just the value is what I get out of driving it.
Isn't it shocking when you open one of those old Porsches, the heft to it, the surprising
the
heft?
Solidness of it? Yes. I mean, those galvanized Porsche bodies from the 60s to the mid 90s are some of the finest built vehicles in terms of quality and engineering. They're expensive to maintain. They can be annoying, but as far as pure quality of engineering, there's nothing better. I mean, it's probably the finest car in the world from a quality perspective through most of its life. Yeah.
The 964 is a really unusual one for me because that year was like they still kept the frog eyes, but the suspension became more lively, a little bit more controllable, but yet it still maintained a lot of the old feel.
Yeah. At the time, those cars, if you go back to 92 when those cars came out, or 91, and you read sort of like contemporary reviews of the car, they were calling it old, slow, and heavy. You know, they said it was a solid feeling car, but the Corvette ZR1 was way faster and lighter, you know what I mean? And the Ferrari, the 348 was a piece of shit, but what the fuck else? 92. Some of the Japanese stuff, the Supra, the 300ZX twin turbo. You know, these were modern cars with turbochargers and, you know, all this new cool shit. And here was this sort of, well, this 911's really still sort of the same since the 60s, you know? And so that kind of dragged on, but to revisit those cars now, the fact that they were unchanged from the 60s to the mid 90s is a positive. It's an endearing quality.
Right.
It's such a they developed that body and chassis so thoroughly over those 30 years that it's such a finely engineered thing that you can take it and build something like a Singer out of it. A Singer 911, it is as, like, I remember their regular car, right, is as fast around Laguna Seca as a Ferrari 458 with no traction control and manually shifting.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, they've done wonders with those chassis, and they've really lightened them with carbon bodies, and so it is possible to take that chassis further. It just would have cost Porsche. Porsche lost so much money in the 90s, dude. Porsche was really hanging on by a thread, and they were losing money like crazy until Volkswagen Audi Group came in, and that's where you ended up with the water-cooled cars, the Boxster, and then the Cayenne.
Wow.
But in the 90s, when they were doing the 993s from like they were losing a crazy amount of money on those cars.
Really?
Yeah. Anyway.
It's a weird car, right? It's like they stuck with that crazy design for so long.
Yeah, it feels old. It feels like 25 years older than it really is. And yet it is so finely made.
Yeah.
So interesting.
Right. So it was a strange combination, right?
As opposed to something like
That's a crazy one.
That's a 993 GT a Carrera RS. That's delightful.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's very nice.
That's a beautiful car.
So if you
from
look at the
just a
passenger
design.
compartment, the roof line, the windshield, the side windows of those cars, that's basically unchanged from the 70s to late 90s.
It's such a pretty shape. Mm-hmm. It's just like some shape that people just gravitate towards,
and it's
particularly the really old ones.
Yeah.
Something about an old one when you see them in person, like if you see a really nicely done like 71 long nose, there's something about them you like.
They're so light.
Yeah.
They're kind of airy about them.
Mm-hmm.
I think of all the classic cars, they are the most usable. To just run around the city and drive. You can drive a car from the 70s. Magnus fucking drives that car. He drives cars from the 70s. Like, no problem. You could do that.
Dude, Magnus had this car that he sold to some rock and roll star in England. He had this silver with blue stripes, and it was like a 69 or something like that.
I think I remember that car, yeah.
Oh, my God. That car was a magic thing.
He's got cool taste.
Pretty. There's a video of him, like, driving it, going around this corner. He had that video that they made about him. Yeah. It's like a little short documentary.
Urban Outlaw documentary.
That's it. And he comes around in this old school silver Porsche, and you look at it like, that's a whole different thing he's doing than everybody else. And he's not even driving fast. Like, you don't even have to drive fast in that thing. It weighs, what does it weigh?
I mean, 2,500 pounds, maybe.
It's so light.
Maybe.
And it doesn't have a lot of power either.
Well, one of the things I love about my car is with the lift on it and the tires, you've got like less grip than a normal 911. So if nobody's around, like I can slide entrance ramps, like I can be a silly bastard in that car, and it's just extra fun.
Look at this.
That is the silver car with the blue. Yeah, that's an excellent car.
Cool.
Yeah.
But even when you hear the engine, it doesn't sound like anything else.
Yeah.
It's a weird little mechanical creature.
Yeah, because of their small displacement, that's probably a 2 or a 2.0 or a 2.2, It's not like this big bore 3.8 like you've got, or, I've got a 3.2, which is a bit more of a bassy kind of tone, yeah.
And
the older engines have a really higher pitch.
Small. It's like really, those ones are so small.
The 60s ones are little. Yeah.
God damn,
but they're still pretty big inside. Like, it's the same size inside as your car. Like, you could get in it and drive it, and it's like, even those 356s, the really old Porsches from the 50s, like, those are actually kind of roomy. Like, when you put that engine in the back, your feet can go pretty far forward. Yeah.
And the Germans are pretty big people, too.
Yeah. One of the things with Porsche specifically is about tall people fitting.
Yeah, they got barbarian DNA, man, right?
And the CEO of Porsche for a very long time was 6'4", and so he demanded. That's why Panamera looks like it does, so that a 6'4" person can fit in the back. It's exactly that reason.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What'd they do with the backseat of the 911? So those are ridiculous.
Well, those are for kids or whatever.
Like little kids, too, man.
I think that's an insurance thing. I think by being a 4-seater, you might be able to.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I just don't have rear seats, though. I
mean, you could have a friend get in the back of your 911 for a couple of blocks.
Yeah. It's possible, but it's more like you just, you throw your duffel bag back there or whatever.
It's just too tight. It's too tight.
But the ones you buy don't have rear seats, so what do you care?
Yeah.
You buy the RSs, they don't have the rear seats.
Well, if I drive like one of those cars, especially the older ones, like like the 964 or something like that, I'd like the most stripped down ones. That's what I like the most.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I don't want a radio. I
like a radio.
I don't want air conditioning. Nothing.
I use my car every day, and so I have a radio and air conditioning. But yeah, I know what you mean.
But a car like that is like a little ride. Yeah, it's like you're taking a ride more than it is like you're driving.
Totally. No, driving is the thing. That's what you're doing. You're driving. Yeah. That's my Lamborghini. I treat like that. When I don't take that to do bullshit. When I go out and drive that car, that is my activity.
Yeah. So like a guy like Magnus, he's experiencing what a normal person experiences when they're enjoying the pleasure of driving, but he's getting it way more analog, way more super light car. Yeah. It's all ancient fucking technology.
Those light cars are real easy to drive, though. When you've got a little engine, you can have a light clutch, you can have a light shifter. You don't need, the more power you've got, the heavier duty everything needs to be. Yeah. And so when you dial that stuff back and the car's 2,000 pounds and the engine's only 200 horsepower, you can just fingertip the whole thing. It's very easy.
Yeah. My friend Todd said this to me. It was a very wise thing. He said it doesn't matter how fast you're going, just matter how fast it feels.
Totally.
He was talking about like old 911s.
1,000%. 1,000%.
It's wise, like it's a wise perspective because you go, oh yeah, if you're just enjoying the car, Like, you're supposed to get maximum enjoyment. Like, it doesn't have to be attached to a number.
Correct.
Like, if you didn't know how fast you were going, you weren't looking at your car other than for the purposes of safety.
Yeah.
You weren't like, it wasn't a dick contest. There'd be a certain level you wouldn't want to drive at.
I agree. Even knowing the speeds, like for me personally, like my cars have fairly low power. Like they're not crazy huge power cars. Like, and I think beyond a certain point, I just can't use it anymore. And so I think there's an argument for having something like a Tesla for every day and then having an engaging machine for the weekends.
One of my favorite videos that you ever did was that, was it BBI that did a...
Joey Seeley's car?
Yes.
You know that car's for sale.
Is it really?
Yep. You want it?
No. I don't
that
need
car's
that in my
for
life.
that's a lovely car, and it is for sale. It was called Project Nasty, and I think he got it down to maybe 2,200 pounds. It's the lightest 964 I ever drove, but it was so light it had no headliner.
Yeah, no
It
nothing.
burned my
All metal
head.
inside of it and everything. I remember watching it, going, "Look at that thing."
Yeah,
but that's what you said. That was really interesting was that this is the kind of car you build when you make cars for other people.
Yeah.
And you want to build something for yourself. You build something like
the
this.
most focused kind of thing.
Because that company's known for like these really high-end like custom builds of Porsches, and they make crazy fast things.
Dude, you can buy, I mean, you can write a check right now. You could just write a check, walk away, come back in 2 months and have like a 1,500 horsepower 911.
That's bananas.
Because these guys race runways out here now.
Dude,
that's like the thing now is runway racing. So they go out and they go side by side half mile, and they're doing like 220, 230 in the half mile.
You ever see that video? I'm sure you have, of the guy in the GTR on the Nürburgring, and he just catches air.
Oh yeah,
dude.
Nürburgring contests
that's fucking terrifying.
You should go drive a Nürburgring. If you haven't, you really
I just
should.
told you a guy fly.
Yeah, but you wouldn't
fly through the air.
You wouldn't fly. You would drive the Nürburgring in a more normal car that doesn't fly.
Yeah, I would drive something.
And by the way, after that, they re-sculpted that section of track.
Really?
Yes. They for a period of time they imposed a speed limit even during races through that section to prevent that from happening again. They changed, I believe, the rules of the racing series to slow the cars down. And then I believe they re-sculpted the track there as well after that incident.
So they couldn't catch air like that?
Or at least to make it substantially less likely. Yeah.
Bro, that fucking
cars catching air is in your next internet dive, Google race cars catching air.
No.
I'm gonna attempt to look for that, but there's just
the GT. Yeah, you can't Google Nürburgring crash and not end up with.
People are going so fast, and people lose it all the time.
Dude, it's such a fun, scary, crazy place. It's every reputation every bit of reputation it's earned, it deserves, and but you go to doing it is like one of the more unique experiences of your life, and you don't have to like you said, you don't have to go for time. You can just go and drive it as a fast, fun road, which is what I've done. And
as Americans, we should be ashamed that the Germans have the Nürburgring. I mean, come on, people.
Hitler built it. If we want to really be,
did he really?
I mean, he didn't physically lay the asphalt, but it was a Fourth Reich superiority thing right alongside the Autobahn. Best racetracks, best race cars, best highways was part of their deal.
Wow. Well, that makes sense. There was so much engineering that came out of that group of fucking psychos.
Yeah.
It's really
sad
amazing.
but true. Oh, speaking of which, I read a book you'd
engineering.
love called Blitzed, Drugs in the Third Reich. That was basically just about how much meth they were all on. And it is nuts.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Dude, they've been on speed forever. As soon as they figured out speed, people were on speed.
And they're giving it to the pilots and the soldiers. And Hitler had a speed. He was doing speedballs like fucking John Belushi. I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah, they always theorized that they had given the Japanese amphetamines to get them to crash into the planes.
Yeah.
Crash their planes into the boats, rather.
Yeah.
The kamikazes.
Yeah.
That was the thought. Like,
totally
that's what you
believable.
meth them up and fucking send them to war.
There's a story in this book about they at the very end of the war where they invented these single person submarines. Imagine basically just a floating coffin, and they sent these people out with like 10 tablets of meth and nothing else, and this little submarine that had a little gun, and like none of them came back. They all died.
Just can't.
Not that I have sympathy for Nazis, but methed up soldiers in death submarines, maybe a little bit.
Is that what it was? That little thing?
I don't think it worked. I think they tried a bunch of times and it wasn't
Oh my god!
It's the fucking sketchiest shit.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it doesn't get much sketchier than that.
The shit
there it is, the one with the little bubble on top.
God,
Is it the German one-man thing? Yeah, the little bubble on top.
bonkers.
That's it. The picture I saw had the bubble.
Somewhere in Colombia, there's a dude with 1,000 pounds of coke in one of those right now.
Who just got a great
making
idea.
his way.
They had that video where the Coast Guard knocked on the submarine. That was crazy.
Man, they had a cartel sub.
Yeah.
You ever saw that?
They just knocked and said, "Open up."
Was it the Coast Guard that got the guys?
Yeah, they're like open the door. They're literally knocking on the
literally
top.
Did they open up?
Yeah.
They jumped on top of a goddamn submarine and made the guys open the open the sub.
Crazy.
Bro, it is bonkers. It's right out of a goddamn Steven Seagal movie. It's crazy.
That's fucking so nuts.
They jump on top of the roof of this fucking submarine.
Holy shit! Look at this.
Yeah. See, so they're chasing them. They're screaming.
Oh my god. Yo, this is the
They're telling
craziest
these
shit
guys-
ever, dude.
Dude, how crazy is this?
So this thing's like, what, 25-foot long sub?
Yeah. So these guys are following behind it. Whoa. And he jumps off. Look at this bad motherfucker.
So wait, do you
Jumps
think this sub is capable of full submerging, or this is the closest to sub that it gets?
Not probably full. It probably can't go down like 100 feet, but maybe like 10.
Holy fucking shit! This dude straight up knocked
This
on the
is
door and they opened it.
crazy.
That's
This is
so
crazy.
crazy. I need your search terms. You are finding way better things than me on the internet,
Well,
bro.
who is, who is taking subs and filling them up with coke?
They're building
and
them
making
shits.
their way to another country. How
They're
many
building that.
dudes are doing that?
They had that whole big ship in Philadelphia, that cargo ship that was supposedly owned by Chase, but like had $200 or $400 million worth of cocaine on it.
Really?
Oh my Jesus!
There was one,
A
you know
month
what
ago.
the
my
Dakar, the
God.
Paris to Dakar rally is? It's like a car race. Like cars like my Safari are like built for that.
Right.
And there's these, there's race cars and there's race motorcycles and quads and stuff, off-road vehicles that do this very long off-road race. And then there's these support trucks, right? And they race the trucks too. So it's like these like Kamaz and like MAN trucks, big off-road tires, huge engines, and the trucks are in the race. And so these coke smugglers, the trucks, in the back of the truck is enough parts to like rebuild the whole car. And the truck has a racing driver and a 5 mechanics crew, and they chase the car. And if the car breaks, they fucking pull it over and set up a shop and rebuild the car, right? But they're in the race too. And so these coke smugglers bought one of these Dakar race trucks, did it up like the livery, and just like a couple miles after the start, just like entered the race. They entered the race with this truck fucking full of blow.
Oh my God, it's a movie.
And they got stopped, like, I don't know, somewhere in the race. They got arrested with this race truck full of coke.
What is this, Jamie?
It's El Chapo's submarine.
That's El
Yeah,
Chapo's?
sub?
13,000 tons of cocaine. 13,000 pounds, I'm sorry. That's like 7.5 tons. But
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
That is crazy.
237 bales.
bales of coke.
Oh my God,
Jesus.
13,000 pounds.
Jesus.
This one was in Europe. It had 100 million pounds worth on
Oh
it.
my God. These guys are just
1,000
building this shit
kilograms,
in
just
their...
tons and tons of them.
Yeah.
Reminds me of that, what was that movie with Ray Liotta? No Escape? They built the sub. Ray Liotta and Kevin Dillon in that shit? No.
Yeah. What was that movie?
No, I think it was No Escape when they're on the prison island and they get this, then build a sub to get out of there.
Can they still make movies like that?
I've seen some good movies. You see Ford vs. Ferrari? Ford
I
vs.
have
Ferrari's
not.
good.
I bet it's good.
It's good. It's mostly factual. It's
Really?
not entirely perfect, but it's like more accurate than like Bohemian Rhapsody.
Do you remember Le Mans with Steve McQueen?
Yes.
You remember when he was driving in the beginning in that old ass Porsche?
Yes.
That was exactly what we're talking about.
Yes.
The guy was a race car driver who's the car he drives around is that old 911.
That car sold for a lot of money.
Oh,
the
I
car
bet
from the movie.
It did.
Do you like Le Mans, the movie?
I don't remember it enough.
There's
I don't
like
remember
no
it
speaking for like the first 9 or 10
it's
minutes.
Weird. But I think it's beautiful because it's like it really puts you in the mood of what it's like to be these people without saying too much. They would
Yeah.
do that in movies back then, man. You know?
Yeah, they're really slow pacing, kind of quiet, sort of pensive thing.
You know what you should go and watch if you haven't seen it before? Watch it again. The Hustler.
Never seen it.
Jackie Gleason and Paul Newman.
No, I've never seen it.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
For what reason?
It's a fuck. First of all, it's in the 1960s, like early 1960s, and you're seeing like this part of America because this is filmed representing the time in which it took place. It's not like they were doing a period movie. So this is like 1960s, like early 1960s cars and the way they talk and the way they drink. And it's about this guy who's a professional pool hustler who's been traveling from California to New York City to meet this guy named Minnesota Fats and play him because this guy's the best pool player in the world. And so they play all through the night. It's based on I think, was it Robert Rosen? Is that the
It said
the author?
Robert, you just said Robert Rosen, yeah.
It's based on a very...
Did you say Paul Newman is in this?
Yes, that's Paul Newman,
Oh,
bro.
fuck, it is. Look at that.
Dude. And Paul Newman plays
That's a
Fast
young
Eddie
Paul
Felsen.
Newman.
He plays the baddest motherfucker in pool.
All right.
Who wants to come and play Minnesota Fats. And Minnesota Fats is Jackie
this guy,
motherfucking Gleason.
Yeah, it is.
And he's amazing in this movie.
He's so amazing, he's got 2 flowers on his jacket.
Bro, that's the other
is
one's
that-
a tie or a hanky, rather.
I didn't
But
realize that
he's-
Paul Newman had multiple pool movies.
Well, this was the original. And so what The Color of Money with Tom Cruise was Fast Eddie, who was, again, Paul Newman, getting back into the world of pool because at the end of this movie, spoiler alert, it's from the 1960s.
He retires.
At the end of this movie, he retires. So he comes back.
But it's the same
with Tom
character.
Cruise.
Okay,
same
all right,
guy.
yeah. I've seen
Fast
Color
Eddie
of Money.
Felsen.
Yeah, I've seen Color of Money.
But, you're picking him up again now when he's 60.
That's
right?
hilarious. Yeah.
So
yeah.
this young kid is talking shit, and he doesn't understand that because he's a really hot pool player today,
Right.
but he doesn't understand that this guy in front of him is a legend.
Yeah.
It would
And
be like
wait,
if
I
you got to
remember
play
the
pool
name
with
of his
Willie
cue
Moscone.
was the Balabushka.
Yeah, well,
Is that
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Can't believe I
Balabushka was the
remembered
type of the
that.
cue that he had, and those because of this movie in particular, because they didn't mention it in the first movie, but it was pretty clear they were playing with the Balabushka. This movie, that fucking cue is worth a shitload of money now. Like, there's a lot of like great pool cue manufacturers from that era. Like, I know you like Craftsman.
I do.
And shit like
Totally.
that. Well, in the world of pool, it's all about cues. It's all about like the type of hit you want, the type of wood
The
that's
weighting
used.
and
And Balabushkas have a very specific kind of hits. It's like there's an old school feel to it that a lot of the players that have been playing like most of their life love.
Company
It's
still
got
around?
No. If you're buying one now, it's going to be a shitload of money, man.
It's like at this point, it's an art piece. Would you play with it if you had one?
Some people do. It's like a badge of honor. You show up at a pool hall with a ball, but it's not necessarily the best playing cue.
Yeah. It's like like shotguns. You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
get
it's
the
cool.
art pieces and the vintagey stuff. But
There's
it's
one
not-
right there for $22,000.
22 G's.
Yep.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Wow.
But move in on that.
Wow.
Let me see what that looks like. Yeah, that looks
Is
like
that is that a?
Balabushka.
Oh, it's got the string on it.
So
and
it has the
everything.
original Cortland wrap and all those inlays. That's
Yeah,
mother
yeah.
of pearl.
Yeah.
That was all done
Probably
by
ivory
hand.
down at the bottom, right?
No, I don't think so. I think that's this. There's a type of that might be ivory actually.
If it's old enough, that's probably
It
ivory.
might be ivory.
Yeah.
It might be ivory. You might be right.
22 G's.
A lot of times they would use a plastic down there because he wanted something to be durable. If
Yeah,
it
you
had
bounce
ivory
it on
down
the
there, it would
ground or
crack.
whatever.
And they all used ivory that came from the pre-band days because back then when they were making these things, people could go over there and shoot elephants just for their tusks.
What does that
Here,
say?
'cause
Ebony points?
What's it say?
I don't know.
Ebony
That's
sleeve,
crazy.
gold bands, racetrack mop. What is that? Nameplate? Oh, okay.
Racetrack mop nameplate that's blank between. I don't know. You lost me, but that's
It's
pretty
a
cool.
blank between the mop dots and the diamonds. Original Cortland map, mostly fallen off. 2 original George Balabushka shafts. Unusual feature.
That's a person's
That's
name.
interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, they've had a bunch of those like that where people would buy them, they would order them, and he would engrave their name in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Like, it
those
sounds like a very shotgun-like thing.
shotguns are similar
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
old
yeah.
ones with like a lot of character. and-
The wood you have to
Yeah.
you go over there and you choose your wood and it's the
Right.
scroll work and the barrel work and all that crazy
A
shit.
good friend of mine makes pool cues. They're called Sugar Tree. And his name's Eric Crisp. And he makes them all by hand. I'll show it to you afterwards. I'll let you.
I'm sure you've
play
got
with
like
it.
a dozen of them out here, right?
It's his the way he makes things is like super specific. Like he's an art connoisseur. If wood was an art. So like when he looks at like a piece of wood, he doesn't think it's like a combination of knowing it'll make a good pool cue, but also wanting it to look a specific way.
Yeah.
Like they have all these gnarly knots in them,
Yeah.
and weird kind of colors of the woods, and just finds like interesting
Yeah, yeah.
grain. It's like a
It's just like guns,
yeah,
dude. It's the
I'm
same
sure.
thing.
What does it say
That's
here?
cool.
Balabushka pool cues were reintroduced in the 1980s with the permission. Yeah, but that's not real.
Yeah, once the movie came out, someone asked if they
Not a
could
real one,
license
but-
it.
Yeah,
actually buy
yeah.
one,
It's what happened was there was a company. There's a good,
replicas.
it's a decent Q, but it's not like a it's a real.
It's like a Shelby
Babushka.
Cobra, right? You can buy a replica
Something like
Cobra,
that.
but the
I
real
mean, you
one
might
is the
even
real
like
one.
the way that one plays better. I mean, there's people that like the way all kinds of different things play. It might play better than, but it's not. You call it a Babushka. Babushka's got to make it. He's got to make it. He's not alive.
Same thing, Cobras.
Yeah.
You know, that you could a brand new replica Shelby Cobra will probably drive a lot better than the ones they were racing at Le Mans in the
for sure.
60s. But one is 50 grand and one is $1 million.
Yeah.
Because one is real.
And to be honest, that wouldn't mean I wouldn't buy one of those newer Babushkas either if I wanted a Q to play with.
No,
they all play
as long
good.
as you know what you're getting, it's fine. Yeah.
The thing with Qs is like with a lot of things. It's like when if you see a pool cue, like it doesn't even necessarily have to be anything fancy. It's just you see like if it's got nice wood and nice balance to it, and you can kind of look at this, like oh, look at it. And you look at it, somebody's made that by hand, most likely. Some guy crafted that on a lathe and
with
figured
watches
it out.
too. The difference between a $500 watch and a $5,000 watch and a $50,000 watch and a $500,000 watch is just further and further into the details.
That one watch that was good for 400 years, that's bananas.
Yes. There's other ones like that.
I have a hard time with that.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time
crazy
with
math
that.
machines. I love the crazy math machines. There's watches that play chimes. There's watches where you hit a button and like a thing like dances, like a cuckoo clock. There's like all kinds of crazy shit people
ridiculous.
do. Yeah. There's a
I
whole
saw one
genre
that-
of porno watches. Have you seen the porno
Jesus
watches?
Christ.
Where it's literally you hit a button and people like start banging
In
like,
front of you?
like on the yeah
No, I
on the
mean like a
watch dial.
hologram?
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
on the
like
watch
a
dial.
mechanical
Oh.
animatronic couple starts fucking on the dial.
Oh, well, that's
It's kind of hilarious.
ridiculous.
But it's an entire genre of watches and they're very, very expensive.
Very hard to Google that.
What's that one I saw? This one guy had one that was like a dome, and inside was a bunch of planets. spinning
Yeah.
around.
That's called a Jacob Astronomia. And so
Anybody
you remember
who wears that, like you got to be some kind.
they're $1
of,
million.
You got to be some kind of pimp to have a planetarium on your
Yeah.
forearm. Like,
So
"What's
do you
up,
remember
girls?
Jacob the jeweler? That's him.
This is us. This is the universe.
You can't wear one of those and have people look
Universe.
at you without you're being a little crazy.
Yeah.
So the astronomy, it's like a fishbowl you put on your fucking wrist.
It's the weirdest thing ever.
And it's designed to, so
it is.
that's the mechanism that rotates around the fishbowl. And it's got something called, the thing that's flipping about is called a tourbillon. And that is the time regulating mechanism and the mainspring, which keeps it wound. And then, as you can see, the actual clock itself rotates and stays vertical. And then you've got this earth thing, and then you've got this big diamond that spin around. And it's a huge thing you wear in your wrist. It's probably 48 or 49 millimeters, and it's like putting a fishbowl on your wrist because it's got a big glass like case over it.
That is so crazy.
So that's
to
that's
look
what
at.
one looks like in person.
That is so crazy.
Look at it.
That's
It's
$1 million. You got $1
It's $1
million
million.
fishbowl.
Oh, so this one he's showing is the roulette
baccarat.
wheel one. No, it's got a roulette wheel in it
Oh, no,
that
it
actually
doesn't.
works.
Oh my God,
You
it
wind it
does.
up and it sends a ball, and you actually can play roulette on the watch.
That's ridiculous.
It's called the Astronomia Casino. Yeah, batshit, right?
Imagine you lose your house.
Now
from
look,
a
this one's an
game.
animated one. It's an oil derrick that pumps.
Oh my
So when they
God.
spin it, like I'm sure he'll show it. But look, yeah, the oil derrick.
So did somebody design this because they owned an oil company?
I'm certain that
and
is
they,
what
they
happened.
had it made?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah.
How much do you think it cost to make
It's
that?
probably $1 million. It's probably
Of course
same.
it is.
Yeah.
It's gross too. I wouldn't even want to touch it.
No, it's not. You don't want to wear something like that. No,
What
it's
are you
like
talking about? Then why are you getting it? That's crazy.
I
You're
don't
going
know
crazy.
why
I'm gonna get
why
a G-Shock.
I wouldn't get it, but like if you I don't know why you'd get it.
This
You'd
is
have to
the
really
thing, man.
appreciate the art of it. Look
I-
at what
I
the
do
fuck is
appreciate
going on
that.
there.
That
Oh, it's a
does-
moon man floating.
Yeah, it's cool.
Moon man.
That does look gorgeous. It does look
Moon man is
gorgeous.
floating. I mean, there's another company called MB&F, which is not as kind of dumb, for lack of a better word. It's just a little less flashy, and it looks like a fucking Rocketeer Trekkie space communicator, but it's all mechanical. It's called MB and ampersand F, and they come out like people are doing some real creative shit, Joe.
Oh, they really are.
Like-
That's the kind of shit that made Ted Kaczynski move to the woods, become a Unabomber. He knew where all this is going. And these people can't leave anything alone. They have to innovate on everything,
Well,
including
it's kind
watches.
of okay, isn't it?
Oh, it's really okay. It's look, it makes our life way more interesting. But
There's worse things than innovating in a mechanical timepiece, right?
oh no, it's amazing.
So this
But it's
is
just
this is
this
MB
thing
and F.
that's
This is
fucking
where
gorgeous.
those two domes sort of spin around. They make a couple different like crazy ones,
Oh my
but
god, that's beautiful.
yeah. So they have these sort of real spacey kind of alien device type watches. They're very expensive, but they're
Dude,
very.
that is
That's
so
40 Gs.
gorgeous. Let me see that again. That is so pretty.
The one with the 4 is really crazy too.
What is that?
Yeah, so you can see on the
one.
left is the hour and the right is the minute.
That's like a
there's
scale,
a
the
date.
old timey scale at Grandpa's house.
That one. This is my jam. That's the space jam right
What
there.
is that?
It's just crazy fucking watchmaking,
What
dude.
is that?
Yeah, it's
How
space
does that
machines.
work? Back that up.
The one.
What is that? What the
So
fuck?
that one, the you see the bottom
You
left.
better have a phone if you want to know the time.
Yeah, this shit ain't for telling the time, bro.
No, it's
this is for
not.
telling everybody that you run shit.
That is the craziest thing to have on your body.
Right?
You got a house on your body.
So in this
Whoa,
one,
look at that.
the entire clock moves around the diamonds.
Of course it does.
Yeah, why wouldn't it?
Why wouldn't it? Of course it does. Spin, bitch.
I mean, it's all real crazy. The round one is very cool.
Wait a minute,
that
is
was
the
the
clock-
concentric one, yeah.
As the clock's look at that, it looks like a UFO. That one on
Yeah.
the right hand side that you just had, Jamie. What is that?
This?
No, the blue one. Sorry, blue one that you just had.
Yeah.
Look
So
at
that's
that.
concentric rings.
What is that?
It's the rings are concentric. So you see the line on the bottom. So it's 5:52 is the time there, or 4:52. Excuse me, 4:52.
What is in the center? Is that a squirrel?
In
What
the
is
center
that?
is the tourbillon. That's the mechanism that powers it. There's other watches. Have you ever heard of an HYT watch?
No.
HYT watches are fucking nuts because they're powered by bellows and liquid. So they tell the time. Yeah, give me one where you can see some of the liquid.
Know so much.
I didn't study this shit. Wait, no,
Look
that's
at
not a good
that.
picture, Jamie. One,
What are
the
you
bottom
talking
left.
about? Stop.
That's a
that
good
thing's
one.
dope
No,
as
bottom
fuck.
left. I want to show the liquid specifically. So that one right there, that.
Yeah, we did this one
So
before, I think.
yeah. So the liquid fills up and moves around the face as the time goes, and these bellows move. So you see the bellows in the middle there?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
pumping the liquid around the fucking
I
clock
feel
face.
like you've shown this
Maybe.
to me before.
Maybe.
and I'm-
That one seemed familiar when I saw
yeah,
it.
yeah, the liquid
Yeah,
ones. So
that's,
those are like $40,000, $50,000, $60,000. It starts getting real crazy.
That's
The liquid shit.
amazing. That's such crazy balling. That skull one.
72 Gs.
That skull one's pretty goddamn dope.
Yeah.
If I was
Axl Rose is sponsored by this company.
Of course he is.
It's
If I was
perfect.
an angry rock and roll guy,
Perfect,
Not
right?
saying that Axl is, but he's got angry style. That's a perfect thing,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
I mean,
It's a
you wouldn't
perfect
recommend it
Axl
to
Rose
James
watch.
Taylor,
In
right?
my mind,
like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I know.
some people couldn't, like,
takes a certain type.
yeah.
But if you wanted to get into some really next level weirdness, that's a good way to do
What
it.
is that? What's
It's
that
a
box?
digital watch. I thought it was
What
something
the
gorgeous.
fuck
Just
is that?
The
diving watch.
PS2 wrist drive
is-
Scuba Pro. That's
That's
a
ridiculous.
dive computer.
Oh,
It's a scuba diving computer. Oh yeah, that one right there is
That's
the
another
MB&F Legacy Machine Perpetual. So this round one, right, one to the right, Jamie. That one, yeah.
Diving makes me feel the same as reverse Alex Honnold. That's what diving makes me feel the same. I'm like, get up, get up.
This
get the
one
fuck
does
out of there.
the same shit as the first one I showed you. It counts the date and stuff for like 400 years, but it just does it in a prettier, crazier way.
Oh my god, that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
This is what I'm fascinated by. That somebody in some group of people, obviously it's not like one wizard, and they're doing it at multiple companies all around the world.
Yeah.
And they're innovating and they're competing with each other to make cooler and weirder shit.
Yeah.
And all of this stuff is like, I guess it's a watch, but it's way more than just a watch. Like that thing up. Sorry, Jamie. Go back to that one that was that weird spaceship one that was. The one in the middle.
Top.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
Right there. That one. Like look
Space
at that.
communicator watch.
That is so crazy.
Yeah,
Look
yeah.
at that thing.
Yeah.
That's not really a watch.
This one's cool. It's mechanical, but
Whoa.
but you read it from the side like that. It's very, very space communicator.
Yeah, it's cool. It's something different. It's
I
something
mean,
different
it's like
than a
it's like
watch.
it's like that Singer DLS, right? They take the old way, and they evolve the old way as far as they can. So these watches have amazing materials, like really interesting alloys they make for stuff. A lot of these companies make their own alloys, which is really interesting.
Look at this thing.
It's so cool, man.
What is that? It's like it looks like what we thought a spaceship was going to look like in the 1950s.
Yeah.
And it's a watch.
Yeah.
Doesn't that? That kind of looks.
And it's powered. Yeah, it's like the movie The Rocketeer. It reminds me of the Rocketeer's rocket.
Yes. So it's totally like that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Like, you know how Elon's only seen Spaceballs? Like, this dude's only seen The Rocketeer.
Oh, God, that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
So
this shit's incredible, dude. And most people will think you're a weirdo for wearing it, but if you wore something like this to like a watch nerds gathering,
oh my god,
they'll think you're the king of the universe. You walk in something like this.
I'm
going to a watch nerd gathering after this.
Are you really?
There's a Grand Seiko party. They announced the new watch.
The Godzilla watch?
The Godzilla watch. Which I don't really like car watch co-brands. I think the connection is obvious enough. You don't need to shove it in my face. But I'm still going to go to the party.
It's a car watch co-brand?
Yeah, Godzilla is the Nissan GTR, not the movie monster. So it's a cross-branding with the Nissan GTR and the Grand Seiko.
I got confused. I thought it was like an anniversary thing for Godzilla.
I think it's the Nissan GTR.
Oh, so that Godzilla.
That Godzilla.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, it looks dope.
It does look dope. Oh, wait, it might actually be the movie Godzilla.
65th anniversary.
Maybe it is this fucking 65th anniversary. They came out with a Nissan GTR watch like months ago, so maybe I just got confused.
No, you did. I remember the GTR watch was like a chronograph.
Yeah.
It's like a bunch of different little,
That's what I get for not doing my homework. I guess it is the movie monster anniversary. My bad.
It looks like it's like a dinosaur skin.
Yeah, the leather skin. Yeah, that one, GTR 50th, that was like a couple months ago. So sorry, their their finish quality is amazing.
Let me see that Godzilla thing again.
Did you do the thing I told you about the reflections on the back of the hands?
No, I didn't look.
So Grand Seiko,
I believe it.
Their finishing on the back of the hands is as good as the finishing on the front of the hands. And if you reflect a light certain ways, you can get it to reflect on the dial. It's really cool.
That thing looks wicked.
Yeah. They make a nice watch.
Well, they have really pretty design. Like whoever is designing their stuff, that's a weird thing about like watches or anything that someone makes. It's like what appeals to the eye? Like that TGT Studios clock, see that thing right beside you? Like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's something that appeals to the eye. It's a piece of art that also tells you the time. But there's something about it, like the way it's shaped, the way it's formed. Yeah. It makes you want to look at it. It's interesting.
Well, the very best watches, you just stare at them sometimes. Yeah. Like your watch, I love. Is yours a spring drive? Yeah. So the spring drive with the super smooth hand sweep. You don't need to be diving to wear a dive watch,
bro. I gotta dive. You never know. Shit hits the fan. I want a waterproof watch.
No, you get your shit wet all the time, probably, right? Between the tanks and the sweating and the washing your hands and whatever.
It's definitely gonna get wet occasionally.
Yeah, I mean, it's a dive watch isn't for people who dive. It's for people who just get their hands wet.
Tell that to a diver. They want to piss in your mouth right now. Fuck you, bro.
I'm a diver. I'm a scuba diving instructor.
Are you really?
Yeah.
You teach people how to dive?
I can. I did in my early 20s.
Well, then you gave me.
Now I do this.
You gave me a diver pass.
Yeah.
Right. I'm good.
Shazam. I absolve you.
Dude, I'm terrified of the ocean.
Why?
Getting in that water with all those fucking things that move
videos?
better than you.
Yeah, but most of them don't care about you. Most of them you're just looking at them.
That's the key word, isn't it?
Yeah.
Most of them.
I went to the Galapagos earlier this year and saw hammerhead sharks while snorkeling. It was rad. Nothing cuter than a baby hammerhead. Like this big.
Really?
Amazing. Like a foot long. It was the cutest thing ever. Wow. But I can see how the ocean is big and dark and scary.
Dude, it's terrifying.
Yeah, I know. I still get a little nervous when I go in the ocean.
You should be scared.
I do.
You can't move good. There's monsters in there. They're real.
I know.
This is what I always say about sharks. If there was a werewolf and the werewolf came out every full moon, every full moon, if you were outside your house, you got murdered. You just got ripped apart. And it happened to one person every full moon all across the land.
Yeah.
People would be like, fuck, man, I'm not going out on a full moon.
Okay.
Sharks are like werewolves, but they're werewolves every day of the year.
I don't think shark attacks are that common.
Because they don't see you and you're not supposed to be there. So they're not accustomed to you. if they were accustomed to, like if we lived in the water with sharks, do you think the moral duty that sharks have to be good neighbors who keep them from eating us? If we were like just everywhere in the water all the time and sharks figured it out, we'd be like, oh, we could just eat them. Let's just eat them. They're just dumb. They don't know they're supposed to eat us. They have a narrow thing in their eye of what they're supposed to be eating.
Yeah, they don't. I don't think they like us. I don't think they want to eat us.
They're just not accustomed to it.
Yeah.
Their focus is look.
When they bite people, don't they spit them out a lot? They rarely finish a human. You see them, they take a limb. They don't finish a human.
I saw Jaws, dude. In Jaws,
Bro.
they finish people, and there was also like fucking license plates and shit. Remember?
Oh yeah, they eat trash. Yeah, they'll eat anything. Yeah, they'll eat trash.
They'll eat your asshole. They eat everything.
Yeah, but they probably wouldn't eat 2 license plates in a row.
Dude, they might. I don't think they think. I think they're just eating machines. I don't know any better, but I don't think there's any evidence that sharks are like wizards.
They're
really smart and clever. Like dolphins are clever as fuck. Orcas are clever. We know. No. Sharks are just these murderers, just with a continual row of teeth.
Yeah.
The teeth fall out, new one pops in, bang, like a rotor.
But I don't go diving where there's fucking great whites.
They're everywhere.
I mean, yeah,
you don't go into a neighborhood. They can just decide to go to your neighborhood. It's like if you were camping,
fuck up
in a giant campground, and out there in that campground, wolves were tearing open fucking tents and pulling people out and eating them alive. Would you feel like, well, they never come up here?
They're literally chumming that shark. They're feeding that shark in that image.
It's a real thing, dude. They brought in a werewolf. This is what I'm saying.
Oh,
doesn't matter. Like if you had a cage and he could put you in the middle of the woods and your friend ties a lamb to the outside of the cage so you could see the werewolf in real life and it looks like American Werewolf in London. That's that.
I know.
That's the same
thing. I don't go fucking shark diving. What do you want from me?
Stay out of the ocean. Please do me a favor.
I like the ocean.
Look at those teeth.
I know.
I'm so scared for you.
I know. I go. What about Joe? Don't you go walk? What about mountain lions? You go walking in the woods with your fucking
bring a
dog
knife.
and shit?
I'm such a pussy. I'm trying to pretend that I'd be able to stab some mountain lion and get it off of me.
I dive with a knife.
My dog would try to make friends with the mountain lion. He's so nice. You know what he barks at? Hilarious. The only thing he barks at
is what?
He barks at when people have a Santa Claus on their driveway. He's like, what the fuck is that? He's never seen, he doesn't know what the fuck they are, right? He doesn't see, there's like a normal thing for him to see.
Like a glowing Santa Claus.
We're walking, and I take him to the trail, and I open up the back to let him out. He jumps out onto the sidewalk and looks at this guy's fake snowman and starts barking.
Oh my God.
And then he just goes, oh my God, I'm an idiot. He realizes it's just some fucking thing that's not really a person, and then he just runs up the hill.
I got kittens a couple months ago, and one of them didn't just learn that he was fighting himself in the mirror.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Which was a really fun 20 minutes to watch him figure that out.
And they chase their own tail. It's genuinely hilarious.
Yeah.
There's something about watching a kitten just spin around their own tail.
They're dumb as fuck, but they're so fun.
But
I love my kittens.
It's such a little drug. It's so joy-inducing to watch a kitten just spin around.
Oh, dude, I don't watch TV. I have 4 cats in my house, and all I do is like, what are the cats doing? And just watch what other cats are doing. It's constantly entertaining.
Do you know the video with the cat and the 2 crows, where the crow and the 2 cats, where this crow instigates a fight between these 2 cats?
No, this sounds awesome.
Lands on the roof, like real close to a cat, and he's like, what? And the cat like moves at him, and he flies away real quick, and he comes back, and then he flies over to the other roof, goes to this is a different one where they're doing it.
And he causes the 2 cats to fight each other? That's amazing.
They fuck with the cats, and they get them close to each other and watch them fight.
It's like the Don King of birds.
Yes, they do it all the time. They like doing it. So
that
they instigate
is
fights.
So funny.
So there's this one. They literally pick on them and get them worked up so that they'll fuck up the other cat.
Bro, that's so funny.
There was one where these cats were on the roof. They were on this. There's probably 100 of these videos. They're really clever. You've seen like the videos of.
I know what you're talking about. It's just not coming up.
You've seen the videos of crows. Is it crows or ravens that can use tools? They can use tools.
Wait, can I ask a practical question?
Yes.
I know this is a really interesting topic, but what is the legal thing with playing a clip from YouTube on this podcast.
We can't. Nobody's looking at that. They're seeing us. We can't use their clips. That's why we're not.
Got it.
Because
sorry,
you can't use other people's shit. They'll take you down.
I completely understand, but in my show, I sometimes show images in the feed, and so I was wondering if you were doing that or not.
People will try to claim you can show images. Like I'll give websites credit.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to promote the website.
Yeah.
But if you have like someone else's stuff on your feed,
crows using compound tools. What is a compound tool?
It explains that here. So, like, took two things and made it a better tool.
Oh
to
shit!
reach
Really?
longer and
yeah, dude.
We're fucked.
They figured out at one point in time how to take one tool and use it to get a second tool that was bigger, and use that second tool to get food. So they figured out using a tool to get a tool to use a tool. But now they're figuring out how to make tools, bitch. They're connecting things together, son. That's bonkers. They're
evolution.
smart.
And we did.
So,
we started that too. Monkeys back in the day. We figured out a compound tool.
As much as I love cats, cats are
They're
not that
doing
smart.
that.
They're not
No,
that smart.
that's okay.
Those little fuckers are sneaky. They'll pick fights.
I had a cat that could open doors.
Ooh,
which was
interesting.
Yeah.
Were you ever getting it on when the cat jumped in? This is the one.
So they get it off
So
the
go
roof?
right to the beginning, because in the beginning you see that the beginning, the crow's on the roof with him, fucking with him. See the very beginning of
That's
it. It's
crazy.
okay. No, that's okay. Just play it from there. So the crow's see how the crow
He
takes
just
off.
left. Yeah,
So
yeah.
he was fucking with them, and then he flies over to the other one. Let's see, and he's like, "What's up, bitch? What are you gonna let this fucking pussy hang out over here on this this
so
roof right next to you?"
funny.
And he starts like getting close to him and riling him up and flying away when the cat gets close, and then he goes back again to the other cat and fucks with him. He gets him riled up, and then he flies away, and he goes back to the other cat and he flies away, and he keeps doing it until they're on edge because he's a little cunt.
Yeah.
And
That's
so then he flies
smart.
away, and then the cats are looking at each other.
Yeah.
And so he starts fucking with the cats, and now the cat's getting more and more angry. Like he's starting
That's
a fight
so
between
fun.
these
He's
two
actually
cats.
pushing the cat towards the other
look at
roof.
that.
Holy shit, that's crazy.
Dude, he made that
And
cat
this
jump
fucking
up
bird
and
is just
fuck up
over
the
here
other
like,
cat.
yeah, get him.
Yeah.
Oh my
Look,
God.
they fall off the fucking
Fell off
roof.
the
They're
roof. The bird
hanging
follows
on
him
each other
down.
in the snow.
Bro, this bird is having a good time.
Dude, that bird is evil. That bird's so evil. That bird is having his own kitty cat fights to the death.
Oh,
Oh my
wow.
God, look at these guys going down the hole. Oh shit.
Bro, you should just
Bro.
be commentating this shit.
This
for
is
UFC.
this
May
is
I have
a
another little-
please. This is a fucking crazy fight.
That is awesome. My cat, Conrad, my 15-year-old boy, chased a fucking stray out of our yard yesterday like a boss.
Cats are sneaky, man. They're smart little fuckers, and they carry some creepy diseases.
Maybe they're paying him back for killing all their friends.
Could
Like,
be.
kill
Right.
8 million birds a year, whatever.
Yeah.
It is.
Oh, billions.
Oh,
man.
dude, my cats have
Billion.
fucked some birds
BI.
up.
Yeah, well, they said that they didn't have any idea. I remember what the number was. I don't remember what the number was, but it's in the billions, and they were stunned. They had no idea. They ran some sort of a scientific study. And using the study, they examined all of the, I'm good, dude. All
Mike
of
Tyson's
the different.
really good at weed. Turns out.
I flashed this up. You didn't. This was taken in Northridge a week ago.
What is that?
It's a mountain lion on someone's roof.
Oh, fucking hell.
Dude,
Apparently,
fuck
there's
that.
2 of them.
What?
In Northridge?
Two on the roof at the same time?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so
Hide
crazy.
your kids, hide your wife.
Yeah. Well, they're looking for dogs and cats. One
Yeah,
of the things
I know.
they found out when they killed them in San Francisco in the Bay Area, they
Yeah.
have real problems up there sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially some of those homes that they're like sort of like we have Malibu with the mountain lions live real in close proximity with the people. So they do these stomach examinations. They find it's like half dogs and cats.
Well, the cat that I said that could open doors and shit, he wanted nothing more than to kill one of my other cats. He was a Russian blue, had 3 legs, and he was really, really smart. We adopted him, and we tried for like 6 months to make it work. We tried everything you could think of to make
You brought
it
a
work.
criminal into your home.
Exactly. And I didn't know. And we rehomed him with my brother-in-law and his wife. And he like got along with the dog and was having the best time and chill. But he thought he fucking ran shit. He thought he owned the neighborhood. And he ended up getting eaten by a mountain lion. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sad.
3 legs versus a mountain lion. Good luck,
R.I.P.
kid.
Morgan. Smartest, fastest 3-legged animal you've ever seen. But fucking, yeah, and mountain lion won.
Maybe he's a little cocky for his own good.
1,000%. He thought he ran shit.
That's
and
hilarious.
He was a cat, a crippled
Imagine
cat.
the moment when you realize that that's a giant you. Like, you think you're this bad motherfucker because you could jack most animals, and then you realize, oh my God, this is 140-pound me.
Yeah.
Fuck this.
He was never seen again.
Bro, we're so weird that we let those things just wander around us. We're so weird.
I always think it's really strange that I live with another species in my house. I think about that very often.
I mean, mountain lions.
Oh yeah,
It's,
as opposed to what, like
exterminating
fucking holocausting them,
killing them, all of them, genocide. I don't advocate.
I don't think the
Don't get me
vegans
wrong.
would
don't
like
advocate that. I don't think we should kill them. All I'm saying is it's really interesting that we have this thing that we sort of agree rarely kills people, but it does sometimes, and we want to keep it around.
Sounds an awful lot like the sharks, bro.
And we also
Sounds a
have to
lot like the
acknowledge
sharks.
that they're running out of shit to eat. You know, it's not like if we're gonna have.
Are they? Is that a thing?
Listen, man. When was the last time you saw a deer?
I mean, fairly recently, but not often. Not here.
It's pretty rare,
Yeah.
even if you live where deer are.
I used to, growing up in the suburbs of New York, I used to see deer like daily.
Do you think deer are on the pill?
No,
What do you think's going on?
I've lived in a city and I haven't
Right.
paid attention to the deer in the suburbs. I'm
I'll
sorry.
tell you what's happened, man. Cats.
Oh.
They moved in and started jacking deer, and coyotes
Wait.
moved in and started jacking deer. And
Cats are fucking up deer?
big cats.
Oh,
mountain lions.
mountain lions. Right, right.
Bobcats.
Sorry.
Bobcats are fucking up deer.
Oh.
Everybody's fucking up the fawns. Everybody's fucking up the
Right.
babies.
Yeah.
So when the babies are born, they have zero chance. These big
that
fucking
makes sense.
big wild dogs. It's a coyote's
Is that
a dog.
everywhere or just California, just like outside of LA?
Mostly around us.
Oh.
If you go to like Iowa, they have too many deer. Like you'll be driving.
Why are
during the
we
rut.
hunting deer and not mountain lion?
Well, you can't hunt mountain lion in California. They don't have.
Is there a predatory cat that you that you should hunt? I mean, I don't know.
You can give see, the thing is, like the people think that you need to control their population, and this is
Right.
where the argument it gets real interesting, because it branches off between people that are very much animal advocates, animal rights first. They want animals to rule and to be able to have their own freedom on their land,
Yeah.
and to just whatever happens, like mountain lions killing deer and all that kind of stuff, and let it all take place. And we shouldn't interfere with that, and we shouldn't hunt. There's people that really think like that, and they have their arguments and they have their reasons, but the reality of animals is, if you have large predators and the large predators runs out of things to eat, it's either going to go further and enter into new areas looking for food, and it might get hit by cars, or it's going to branch out
Start
and
eating
expand. It's going to expand its range, and in expanding its range, it's going to find a farm, or it's going to find a dog in the backyard. It's going to find something because it's just trying to get food.
Yeah.
And like, how many of those are we willing to have around us?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying that we should kill mountain lions. I think it's wonderful that
Are
they
they
live.
endangered?
No, not really.
So why can't we
they
kill
hunt them in
why
other parts
can't
of
you
the
kill
country.
them? Oh, okay.
Well, California
They're
doesn't.
protected.
Yeah, well, the only time California kills them really is when they get what's called a depredation order. Like, if someone has something happen, like if you run a farm and a mountain lion starts killing your livestock, which does happen.
Yeah.
A lady in Malibu a few years back had I think it was an alpaca farm, and this fucking mountain lion killed like a ton of them. It was just killing them.
They seem easy to kill, though.
I think it killed a goat too. I think it was just getting a kick out of killing things. It was just fun. But they said it wasn't even eating them, which is really nuts.
That's strange.
I think he couldn't get it out. It's
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
a really big animal, and he couldn't get it out. And he probably didn't feel comfortable enough to eat it while he's in there. So he's probably really
he killed them
confused.
all at once? Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
Well, I think it was over a couple of days,
Ugh,
but it was
that sucks.
kind of a killing spree. See if pull up Malibu.
Sociopathic
Yeah,
fucking
it's kind
mountain
of
lion.
like that, man. Because like, who the fuck?
killed for fun.
First of all, when you think about Malibu, do you really think about an alpaca farm?
No.
You're like,
Well,
what?
no, I think of that in Topanga.
Right. And if you did think about one of them,
I
you
just
wouldn't
drove
think about
here,
it.
by the way, over Topanga.
Yes.
Someone, it seems, is building a house that's like a dome that they're going to put dirt over. Did you see this? It's up at the top of the hill in Topanga facing the beach.
dome.
And yeah, like, okay, so picture a facade, a flat facade with a bunch of
Okay.
windows, brick.
Right.
And then it just kind of ends, and then there's this concrete kind of 3/4 dome that comes out from behind it. And they're covering, when I drove by, they were covering the dome with this sort of tarpy waterproofing layer. And it looked like they were going to then move earth and build a mountain over the dome. So you'd have your home would be sort of inside this man-made mountain.
It's a fucking Hobbit house.
It seemed kind of awesome, actually.
What if somebody off-roads on your roof and it crushes your house and you
Oh.
didn't even know?
Now that could be a problem.
That would suck.
Instead of sues
You don't want to live underground. What are you, a rat?
I don't know. It seemed weird, but it was very interesting. It seems like fire resistant if the whole neighborhood catches on fire.
Are you a gopher, bro? Why are you living underground?
If you had to live in the air, underground, or underwater.
Oh, underground for
Underground,
sure. He's
yeah.
right. He's right.
Is that
Is
one?
that it?
No,
Oh my
so
God,
that's a geodesic
beautiful.
dome. This is sort of, it's a flat
Whoever lives there
facade.
believes in
It's
crystals.
not built yet. It's like half built, but that's pretty fucking cool.
Go back to that picture. Whoever lives in there for sure
There's a
believes
few,
in
actually.
chanting.
Yeah.
And crystals.
They call the corners regularly.
It is. Look how pretty it is.
I mean, but the idea of living in a fun shape like that is
Yeah.
is
It would
cool.
make your life more interesting.
for sure. If only I lived in a dome, everybody would like me.
Yeah, but how long do you think you could live like that?
I don't
Some weirdo fucking art house before you let me just have a house. Like
Yeah.
you don't need you want to sit in a house.
There's an art house right near me that's a very famous architect's. I think it's Frank Gehry's art house. And it's a terrible use of space, but it literally has like a tree house, like a box on a post, just floating above the house. And there's like a little stairs that go up there, and there's just a dining room table for two in the air on a post.
That's bonkers.
It doesn't seem particularly convenient to live
Christ.
in. But sometimes you're into those, you got to have that designer house.
Yeah. What if it got hit by an asteroid? Like that one little spot.
Oh my God, a direct shot?
Little meteorite.
The luck would be unbelievable.
God telling you, get the fuck out of here.
I shouldn't have bought an art house.
Get the fuck out of here with your art house, bro.
I'm approaching my pee limit.
Okay.
3.5.
Well, we're at 6:30. We could wrap this bad boy up and bring it home.
I'm really proud of myself for not peeing during the show. It was
Oh,
a goal.
you held it together.
And I did 3 bottles of fucking water,
I
too.
was worried. I had to pee before the show.
I know.
Twice.
Respect, dude. Thank you
Always
for
a good
having
time,
me.
man. Always a good time. I
really
enjoy
appreciate it.
geeking out with you. It's been very fun. Tell everybody, website, Twitter, Instagram.
The Smoking Tire for all my media shit, and if you have a cool car, you need somewhere to keep it in Los Angeles, West Side Collector Car Storage. Find us online. Thank you,
My
Joe.
man.
What
Thank
a pleasure.
you, sir. Always a pleasure.
Thanks, Jamie.
Bye, everybody.
That was great, man. Thank you so much.